On the square of Jianghai No. 1 High School, thousands of senior, 3 students wore looks of nervous excitement. Today was the Talent Awakening Day for grade 12. In this high martial arts world overrun by alien beasts, awakening a talent was the only path to change one's fate. Awaken a high-ranked talent, and one could rise to greatness and step onto the path of martial cultivation. At the center of the awakening platform stood an awakening stone. Beside it stood a stern-faced military, uniformed officer calling out students' names one by one. Talent ranks, from lowest to highest, were F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS. Li Dan, awakened E-ranked talent, Flame Spit. Next, Kuan, awakened F-ranked talent, Water Jet. Next, Zhang San, awakened E-ranked talent, Alchemy. Next, name after name was called. Even a B-ranked talent would draw gasps from the crowd. Students in the audience clenched their fists, some elated, some anxious. In an unremarkable corner of the square, Luo Chun clutched his head. A wave of vertigo crashed over him, and countless fragments of foreign memories flooded into his mind. Where am I? I was on my way home from work. I saw a little girl about to get hit by a truck, rushed to push her out of the way, and got struck myself. Luo Chun was stunned. He looked around at the tall awakening platform not far away. A wild yet logical thought occurred to him. Have I transmigrated? The next instant, his memories fused completely. The original owner of this body was also named Luo Chun, a senior, 3 student at Jianghai No. 1 High School. When he was 12, an alien beast tide broke out. His parents sacrificed themselves to draw the beasts away and protect him. They died at the fangs of the monsters, leaving behind only an old house in the downtown district and modest annual state pension payments. His story should have been one of hard work and vengeance for his parents. Instead, he had become the laughingstock of the whole grade. In his first year of high school, he fell for the school beauty Su Yu. From then on he became her zealous admirer. For 3 years, he spent the money left behind by his late parents buying her breakfast and lunch, never skimping on holiday gifts. A casual smile from Su Yu would leave him giddy for an entire day. Ridiculously, after 3 years of devotion, he had not even held her hand. He was nothing more than a human ATM, a fool. Worse still, he truly regarded Su Yu as an untouchable, pure moonlight, willingly spending money to please her. Good grief, man, you really went all out for her, Luo Chun thought inwardly. You blew through your parents' life, saved pension on this girl. 18 years alive, and you never even touched her hand. What a wasted admirer. Now that I'm in charge of this body, the old Luo Chun is dead and gone. This school beauty can step aside. A real man living under heaven need never fear lacking companions. Once I grow powerful, I can meet all kinds of wonderful women. Luo Chun rubbed his hands, fire lighting in his eyes. As a transmigrator, he ought to have a golden finger system. He called frantically inside his head. System, dear system, show up. I've transmigrated. You can't skip this. Come out, and together we will conquer this high martial arts world and reach the peak of life. System, say something. Don't play dead. System, only dead silence answered him. The smile froze on Luo Chen's face. Are you kidding me? Isn't this how every novel goes? Transmigrators always get a system. Panic washed over him. In his past life, he had been an ordinary office worker with no special skills or connections, slogging through 996 work weeks. This world was different, a cruel high martial arts world. No system, no background, and the former host had been a love-struck fool. This was hell, mode difficulty. Luo Chen paled, his heart sinking. Had he just arrived only to spend his whole life as a low-rank ant? Lost in these thoughts, he heard the officer's voice boom across the square. Next, Luo Chun. Step up for awakening. Luo Chun jolted, slow to react. Frowning, the officer raised his voice. Luo Chun, it's your turn. Get up here. Don't hold everyone up. Students turned to look. Many wore mocking grins. Everyone knew Luo Chun was Su Yu's most persistent admirer. Luo Chun gritted his teeth. There was no escaping this. Taking a deep breath, he walked shakily toward the platform, trying to reassure himself. It's fine. Maybe I am heaven's chosen one. Maybe I'll unlock SSS, rank talent. Yeah, that has to be it. No system is okay if my talent is overpowered. Clinging to this last sliver of hope, he stood before the awakening stone. The officer glanced at him impatiently. What are you staring at? Place your hand on it. Luo Chen stretched out his right hand and pressed it against the cold stone. The stone glowed faintly, giving off an extremely dim white light barely visible to the eye. Reading the stone's response, The officer announced flatly in a loud voice. Luo Chun, awakened F, rank talent, spatial manipulation. His voice carried clearly across the square. A short silence was followed by an explosion of jeering laughter. F, rank. Just as I thought. What good talent could that admirer possibly get? Spatial talent? What good is it? At F, rank the storage space is tiny. Total useless talent. Hilarious. He chased the goddess for 3 years and gets a garbage F, rank. I'd want to vanish into the ground if I were him. Stinging taunts flooded his ears. Luo Chin's mind went completely blank. F, rank, truly a useless F, rank talent. No SSS, rank power, no system. He was a total failure. He barely remembered walking down from the platform. His steps felt weightless amid all the jeers. Just then, a pretty voice sharp with contempt rang out before him. Luo Chen lifted his head. Suyu stood right in front. Exquisitely featured and fair-skinned, she was the object of countless boys' crushes. Now, however, she tilted her chin upward, her eyes full of haughty disgust. Though shorter than him, she looked at him as if he were something filthy. Luo Chun, let me make this perfectly clear today. Suyu said coldly, each word cutting deep. Stop pestering me. Don't bring me breakfast or lunch anymore. You are a waste with an F, rank talent. You do not deserve to be near me, let alone pursue me. I treated you nicely only out of pity. Did you truly think you stood a chance? She folded her arms, her tone growing harsher. I, Suyu, am destined to become a powerful warrior. My partner must be a heaven-favored genius. A waste like you who cannot even touch the threshold of martial cultivation is not worthy to walk beside me. Stay far away from me. I do not want people to know I associate with you. You bring me shame. Laughter grew louder all around. Pointing stares pricked Luo Chun like needles. Luo Chun clenched his fists until his knuckles whitened. In his 20-odd years in his previous life, he had never endured such humiliation. This girl had spent money earned through the original host's family tragedy, only to trample him in return. Next, Suyu, the officer called. Suyu took a deep breath, walked elegantly onto the platform, and laid her pale palm on the awakening stone. Instantly, blazing golden light shot skyward. Cold energy spread outward, dropping the temperature across the square. A phantom ice phoenix appeared on the stone, wings outstretched, brimming with spiritual power. The officer's eyes lit up, and he shouted, Suyu, awakened A, rank talent, ice phoenix. The whole square erupted. A rank. Good heavens, an A rank talent. Has our school seen one in years? Suyu is beautiful and outrageously gifted. A true heaven-blessed girl. She will definitely become a powerhouse someday. Luo Chun, the fool chasing her, is just a toad lusting after a swan. Praise and admiration surged. Suyu smiled triumphantly, drinking in everyone's adoration. She stepped off the platform and walked straight back to Luo Chun, a mocking smirk playing on her lips. Do you see this, Luo Chun? Her voice was quiet, yet full of superiority. This is the gap between us. I am an A, rank heaven, blessed girl fated for greatness. You are nothing but an F, rank waste doomed to wallow in the mud. We have never belonged to the same world. Get far away from me. I cannot bear for you to tarnish my status. Luo Chun stared at her, rage burning in his eyes. He ached to slap her across the face, yet he knew he was still an ordinary person with no right to strike. Humiliation was far from over. Next, Mei Jibua. Mei Jibua was the young heir of the Mei family of Zhanghai, a wealthy heir who had long grown close to Suyu. He strode onto the platform and slammed his palm down. Boom. Blazing flame erupted. A fire, dragon phantom coiled over the stone, heat rippling through the air. Mei Jibua awakened A, rank talent, fire dragon. A second A rank. The crowd went wild. 2A, rank talents on the same day. Mei Jibua laughed as he descended and walked straight to Suyu. He slipped an arm around her waist in plain sight. Suyu leaned coquettishly against him. They stood side by side facing Luo Chun, making him look utterly wretched. Mei Jibua tilted his chin down at him, arrogance radiating from every word. Luo Chun, you hear that? I have an A, rank fire dragon talent. My future achievements will be immense. Suyu is mine now. I warn you, keep away from her. He snorted and raised his voice so everyone could hear. Did you really think breakfast and gifts would win her over? Wake up. Suyu chooses to spend time with me. You are nothing more than a fool pouring effort into nothing. People of your station ought to know your place. A toad remains a toad. If I catch you near Suyu again, I will break your legs and throw you outside the city to feed the alien beasts. Mei Jibua's words cut like poison blades. Students whispered, their gazes a mix of pity and scorn for Luo Chun. Luo Chun stood trembling all over. This was unvarnished humiliation. Transmigrate only to be trampled underfoot the moment he arrived? I refused to accept this. Despair welled within him. Then ding. Detecting intense emotional turmoil within host. Gold, spend to ascend system activating. 10%, 50%, 100%. Activation complete. A cold mechanical voice echoed inside his head. Luo Chun froze for a heartbeat, then nearly jumped for joy. The system had finally arrived. Holding back wild excitement, he shouted in his mind, "System, tell me what you can do." Ding. You have activated the gold, spend to ascend system. One simple principle, spend gold to grow stronger. With sufficient funds, you may purchase cultivation levels, talents, and martial arts techniques. 1 blue star coin exchanges for 1 vitality point. With enough wealth, you can ascend to godhood in an instant. Earn money and begin your path of spending gold to reach divinity. Luo Chen's heart raced. Spend money to grow powerful. The classic transmigrator golden finger. If money was all it took to become strong, earning it was a small price. System, open my status panel. Ding. Status panel opened. Host, Luo Chun. Cultivation, unranked. Talent, F. Rank spatial manipulation. Vitality points, 0. Assets held, 3,200 blue star coins. 3,200 coins. That was all the pension left by the original host. It had been set aside to buy Su Yu a birthday gift. Not anymore. Without hesitation, Luo Chun ordered. System, spend 3,000 blue star coins to raise my cultivation. Ding. Consume 1,000 blue star coins. Vitality plus 1,000. Cultivation rises to Martial Apprentice Layer 1. Ding. Consume 2,000 blue star coins. Vitality plus 2,000. Cultivation rises to Martial Apprentice Layer 3. Total consumed, 3,000 blue star coins. Remaining balance, 200 blue star coins. 2 surges of heat welled in his dantian and flooded every limb. Luo Chun could feel his strength, speed, and physique skyrocketing. His formerly frail body brimmed with unstoppable power. In mere seconds, he had leaped from unranked to Martial Apprentice Layer 3. Clenching his fists and feeling the surging power inside, Luo Chen's lips curved into an icy smirk. Suyu, Meijibwa, you reveled in your arrogance just now. Now it was time to pay back what you owed. Suyu saw Luo Chun standing motionless and assumed fear had numbed him. She frowned and snapped. Luo Chun, are you deaf? Meijibwa told you to leave. Why are you still standing there making a fool of yourself? Get out of my sight. Jeers and echoes of agreement rose all around. Luo Chun slowly lifted his head, his eyes cold as ice. Then he moved. He unleashed the speed of Martial Apprentice Layer 3. To onlookers, he was little more than a blur before he stood before Suyu and Meijibwa. Before either could react, Luo Chun reached out both hands and seized them by the crown of their heads. What are you doing? Luo Chun, dare you? Suyu and Meijibwa cried out and struggled. Yet the strength of Martial Apprentice Layer 3 held them fast. They had only just awakened their talents and had not begun training. Not even at Martial Apprentice Layer 1. In his grip, they were as helpless as chicks. Expressionless, Luo Chun forced their heads down and slammed their foreheads hard against the stone pavement. Thud! A dull crash. Both struck the hard ground, their foreheads immediately reddening. My head. Suyu shrieked in pain, her voice breaking. Luo Chun, you seek death. Meijibwa roared, thrashing wildly. Ignoring them, Luo Chun lifted their heads only to smash them down again. Thud! 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 Heavy impacts echoed. The watching students shuddered. The square fell dead silent. Everyone stared in shock. With each crash, Luo Chun spoke in a frigid voice. Enjoy your high rank. Enjoy being heaven's favored girl. Enjoy your time together. Enjoy threatening to break my legs. Enjoy looking down on others. Enjoy playing people for fools. Enjoy your arrogance. Enjoy your conceit. Suyu's forehead split open. Blood streamed down her face, her hair falling disheveled. No trace remained of the elegant school beauty. She sobbed hysterically. Meijibwa was dizzy and battered, his mouth filled with blood, barely able to groan in agony. The students were stunned. Nobody had imagined the formerly meek admirer would attack Suyu and Meijibwa in public. Had he lost his mind? Stop this! A thunderous shout boomed across the square. Crushing pressure descended, bearing down upon Luo Chun. The aura of a martial master Layer 9 expert. Luo Chun felt as though a mountain rested on his back. His bones creaked. His knees buckled, nearly sending him to the ground. Iron, tasting blood rose in his throat, and he coughed up a mouthful. With great effort he lifted his gaze. A middle, aged man in a Zhongshan suit strode forward. Zhou Jingde, principal of Jianghai No. 1 High School. Zhou Jingde's face was dark with rage. He fixed Luo Chun with an icy glare and thundered, "Insolent! You dare assault fellow students at the official awakening ceremony. You attack two A-rank gifted prodigies. This is utter lawlessness." He waved his hand, his tone final. "Luo Chun, you possess a vicious temperament and have savagely attacked your classmates. You have gravely violated school rules. You are expelled from Jianghai No. 1 High School, effective immediately. Get off campus and never set foot here again." Luo Chun wiped blood from his mouth and stared unflinchingly at Zhou Jingde. He saw clearly. The principal had heard none of the context and passed judgment instantly. Su Yu and Mei Jibua were precious A-rank talents the school cherished. Luo Chun was merely an F-rank nobody whose fate meant nothing. What a fine principal for Jianghai No. 1 High School. Luo Chun laughed, a cold, bitter laugh. "Very well. Wonderful. Zhou Jingde, Su Yu, Mei Jibua, I remember everything that happened today. Every insult I have suffered shall be repaid 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Before long I will return to collect what is mine. Then we shall see if you can still be so arrogant." His voice was quiet, yet carried unyielding resolve. He turned away from the crowd's stunned stares, ignoring the two injured figures on the ground. Back straight, he walked step by step out through the school gates. The setting sun stretched his shadow long. Beneath his thin frame lay sharp potential that would one day shake the whole city of Jianghai. Once outside the gate, Luo Chun asked silently inside his mind, "System, what is the fastest way for me to earn money and grow stronger?" Ding. Host, hunting alien beasts and selling their beast. Cores is the fastest way to earn blue star coins at lower cultivation ranks. Cores from first. Order alien beasts outside the city sell for high prices. Luo Chen's gaze sharpened. Hunt alien beasts? He would do it. Alien beasts meant nothing. For strength, for vengeance, he would charge into fire and mountain blades alike. Stepping out of Jianghai No. 1 High School's gate, Luo Chen did not hesitate for a single moment. Humiliation? Expulsion? Before his gold, spending god, ascension system, these were nothing but trivial episodes on his path to growing stronger. Yet Luo Chen knew full well where he stood. Right now, he only possessed the cultivation of martial apprentice tier 3. He had a mere 200 blue star coins left in his pocket, not even enough to buy a decent weapon. Rushing recklessly outside the city to hunt alien beasts would be no different from walking straight to his death. Luo Chen finally made up his mind. The old town apartment was the only keepsake left behind by the original host's parents. But Luo Chen cared little for sentiment. In this high martial arts world, strength ruled everything. A house could be bought again if lost, yet death took away everything. A single house meant nothing compared to gaining power. Without the slightest hesitation, Luo Chen headed straight for the Old Town district. More than half an hour later, he stood before an old residential building. This was the home where the original host had lived for over 10 years. He pushed open the door. The cramped two-bedroom flat sat empty, its furniture worn and chipped with age. Luo Chen fell silent for a few seconds, then resolve hardened in his eyes. "Uncle, auntie, rest assured. Having taken over your son's body, I will avenge you and carve out a worthy life for myself. This house shall serve as my first stepping stone on the martial path." With that, he fished the property deed out of a drawer and walked back outside. Not far from the community gate stood a real estate agency, its glass door plastered with listings of various properties. Luo Chen pushed inside. A middle-aged man in a suit slouched in a chair scrolling on his phone. He glanced up at Luo Chen, lost interest at once, and drawled lazily, "Student, here to rent a place?" "Selling." Luo Chen slapped the property deed down on the table. 30,000 blue star coins flat. Transfer of ownership can be completed today. Will you take it? The agency boss's eyes lit up instantly. He picked up the deed and flipped through it, sizing Luo Chen up and down, then feigned a frown. "Kid, this property is in the old town. Remote location, old building, poor supporting amenities. Its market value tops out at roughly 350,000 blue star coins. You're in a real hurry to sell. Cut the chatter. 30,000 blue star coins. Can you transfer the funds today? If yes, we finalize the transfer right now. If not, I'll go to the next shop." Luo Chen had no patience for haggling, his tone sharp and direct. Joy surged through the agency boss. This price gave him a huge profit margin. He would never let this opportunity slip by. A broad smile spread across his face immediately. "Absolutely. You're straightforward, kid, and so am I. Let's go process the transfer formalities right away." Once paperwork is done, the full 300,000 will hit your account instantly. Less than half an hour passed before all formalities were finished. Staring at the 300,000 blue star coins reflected in his mobile banking app, Luo Chun let out a quiet breath of relief. His first startup capital was secured. Wasting no time, Luo Chun hailed a taxi and headed straight for Jianghai City Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce. The Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce was an officially recognized Blue Star trading hub for martial practitioners. Weapons, medicinal pills, cultivation manuals, beast cores, everything could be found here. He walked into the bustling main hall, filled with cultivators radiating steady auras. Dressed in his school uniform, Luo Chun stood out conspicuously. A clerk behind the counter shot him a casual glance. "Student, what are you looking for?" "I want a long saber for combat," Luo Chun said plainly. The clerk raised an eyebrow, slightly surprised. He turned and fetched a long saber from the shelf, setting it on the countertop. Sharp enough to slay third-order alien beasts. 20,000 blue star coins. Luo Chun wrapped his hand around the hilt. Cold glint ran along the blade. It was truly a fine weapon. Without extra words, he scanned and paid. Ding. 20,000 blue star coins consumed. Current assets remaining. 280,200 blue star coins. Stowing the payment notification, Luo Chun slung the saber over his back and left the chamber, heading toward the city outskirts. Jianghai City's defensive walls stood 10 meters tall. As Luo Chun neared the city gate, 2 sentry guards blocked his path. The guard on the left looked him over. Seeing his young face, brand, new saber on his back, and obvious student bearing, he frowned. "Kid, looks like you've just awakened your talent. The wilderness is no playground. Even a first-order alien beast can tear ordinary humans apart. Going out there with your current strength is suicide. Come back once you've raised your cultivation level." The guard on the second added his warning. "He's right, young man. Every year, hot-headed newly awakened students rush out here, only to end up as alien beast food. Take our advice. Go back and train hard. You only get one life." Luo Chun knew they meant well. He nodded slightly. "Thank you for the reminder, sirs. I know what I'm doing. I can protect myself." The 2 guards exchanged glances, both wearing helpless expressions. They had seen countless young men full of overconfidence, convinced they were special until disaster struck. They had given their warning. They could not physically bar him from leaving. "Very well. Do not wander deep into the wilderness. Stick to the outer zones to get a feel for things. Run straight back to safety at the first sign of danger." With his saber slung over his back, Luo Chun strode out through the city gate. Watching his figure vanish amid the wilderness, the left-hand guard shook his head and sighed. "Another young fool who does not know how dangerous the world is. Tell me about it." Anyone blessed with a powerful awakening talent would be cherished and protected by their school, not wandering out alone. He must have drawn a useless talent and come out here to throw his life away. The other guard scoffed and returned to his post. Beyond the city gates stretched desolate wilderness. Luo Chun found a thicket for cover and called out to his system in his mind. "System, convert all 280,200 blue star coins into chi blood points." Ding. Recharge successful. 280,200 blue star coins converted into 280,200 chi blood points. Current chi blood point balance, 280,200. Detected hosts F, rank space talent. Consume chi blood points to raise talent rank? Raise it. Bring it up to D, rank first. Ding. 1,000 chi blood points consumed. Talent promoted to E, rank space. Spatial storage expanded to 10 cubic meters. Ding. 10,000 chi blood points consumed. Talent promoted to D, rank space. Spatial storage expanded to 100 cubic meters. Martial skill, spatial/acquired. A sharp surge in spatial perception washed over him. A separate 100 cubic meter dimension unfolded within his consciousness. He could store and retrieve items with a mere thought. At the same time, the complete method for wielding spatial/ embedded itself within his memory. Spatial/ channel spatial power into a blade to tear open space, delivering penetrating damage. Power increases alongside talent rank. What a formidable skill. Luo Chen's eyes lit up. With this killing move, his combat strength had multiplied many times over. System, spend all remaining chi blood points to boost my cultivation. Ding. Commencing cultivation advancement with chi blood points. For 1,000 chi blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to martial apprentice tier 4. 5,000 chi blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to martial apprentice tier 5. 6,000 chi blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to martial apprentice tier 6. 7,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Apprentice Tier 7. 8,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Apprentice Tier 8. 9,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Apprentice Tier 9. 10,000 chi, blood points consumed. Breakthrough to Martial Warrior Tier 1 achieved. 20,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Warrior Tier 2. 30,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Warrior Tier 3. 40,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Warrior Tier 4. 50,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Warrior Tier 5. 60,000 chi, blood points consumed. Cultivation rises to Martial Warrior Tier 6. Ding. Cultivation advancement complete. Current realm, Martial Warrior Tier 6. Total chi, blood points consumed, 249,000. Remaining chi, blood points, 20,200. Wave after wave of scorching heat surged from his dantian, coursing through his limbs and bones like raging rivers. His bones crackled continuously. His muscles compacted rapidly. His inner chi, blood grew thicker and richer, every inch of his skin brimming with explosive power. Boom. When the final surge of chi, blood broke through the threshold, invisible shockwaves flattened the surrounding weeds. Luo Chun clenched his fists, overflowing strength filling his body. Within mere hours, he had gone from a worthless low-tier cultivator to a powerful martial warrior Tier 6 expert. Mei Jibua, Suyu, Zhojingda, mark my words. A cold smirk tugged at Luo Chen's lips. I will repay every insult you dealt me many times over before long. Suppressing his killing intent, he slung his saber over his back and hurried toward the territory of second-order alien beasts. Half an hour later, as he passed through dense woodland, four figures burst out from surrounding bushes, forming an encirclement and cutting off his path. Black cloth masked their faces, leaving only vicious eyes exposed. Their leader was a burly man whose aura revealed Martial Warrior Tier 5 cultivation. The other three robbers stood at Martial Warrior Tier 1 apiece. Hee, kid, bold of you to wander out here alone. The big man brandished his blade, greedy eyes sweeping over Luo Chen's fine saber, then over Luo Chen himself. Still a student, aren't you? Fresh off your awakening. Chasing fortune out in the wild. Must come from money to afford such a good saber. Hand over everything of value. If you utter even one word of refusal, I will cripple your limbs and leave you here for wild beasts. Luo Chun stood unshaken, cold eyes fixed on the four men. Fear never touched his expression. Instead, mocking amusement curved his mouth. You four sorry excuses for bandits think you can rob me? What if I refuse? The leader's expression darkened. Murder flashed in his eyes. He stepped forward, releasing a faint surge of chi blood. You seek death by refusing our kindness? Very well. Do not blame me for being ruthless. Brothers, attack. Cut him down. At his command, all four robbers charged. The burly leader pushed hard off the ground, pouncing like a tiger. His steel saber whistled through the air, swinging straight down toward Luo Chen's head. He wielded a crude yet deadly basic blade technique, his strike stained with the scent of blood, clearly a seasoned killer. The other three robbers flanked Luo Chun from left and right. Three steel blades stabbed toward his waist and back. Their coordinated strikes showed they were hardened criminals. In an instant, Luo Chun found himself surrounded on all sides. Yet Luo Chun barely moved. Mockery shone in his gaze. Martial Warrior Tier 5? Against his Martial Warrior Tier 6 absolute strength, that meant nothing. Just as the leader's blade was about to split his skull, Luo Chun moved. His hand closed around the hilt on his back. As he drew the saber, spatial power flooded into the blade. Spatial slash. He roared inwardly and swept his saber forward. Shriek. A translucent spatial blade erupted from the edge of the saber. It sliced through air as though tearing paper, carrying terrifying penetrating power straight toward the burly bandit chief. Horror bloomed across the big man's face. Deadly peril washed over him, yet evasion was impossible. He frantically raised his steel saber to block, confident its high-grade metal would hold against the blow. Clang! The spatial blade cleaved his steel saber clean in two. Its momentum unbroken, it sliced across the man's throat. A thin line of blood appeared on his neck. The next instant, blood gushed forth. The big man's eyes bulged. His broken saber clattered to the ground, and he collapsed lifeless. One strike. A Martial Warrior Tier 5 opponent slain instantly. The remaining 3 robbers froze. Their ferocity dissolved into raw terror. They stared in utter disbelief. Boss. How is this possible? Our boss was Martial Warrior Tier 5. He cannot die from one single strike. He must have used a secret art that burns his life force. He is already exhausted. Charge together. Avenge our boss. All his treasures will be ours. One robber shouted, trying to bolster his fading courage. Luo Chen sneered. He gave them no time to regroup. Unleashing the full chi blood of Martial Warrior Tier 6, he blurred forward to meet them. He held back Spatial Slash. Wasting that powerful skill on 3 Martial Warrior Tier 1 grunts was pointless. His saber swept forth with sharp force toward the robber on the left. The man raised his blade to block, but Luo Chen's overwhelming strength snapped his arm with a crisp crack. His steel weapon went flying. Luo Chen twisted his wrist, sliding his blade across the robber's throat. Another head fell, blood spilling across the earth. Luo Chen pushed off his feet, dashing behind the second robber and driving his saber straight through his heart. The man let out a muffled groan and crumpled motionless. The last robber's legs trembled with terror. Luo Chen said nothing. He swung his blade. Blade light flashed, carving a deep bone, exposing gash across the robber's back. The man screamed and crashed to the ground. Luo Chen stepped forward and delivered the finishing blow. In less than 10 seconds, all 4 robbers lay dead. Luo Chen sheathed his saber and shook blood from its edge. Killing for the first time stirred faint discomfort within him, yet he suppressed it quickly. In this dog-high martial arts world, mercy toward enemies spelled death for yourself. These robbers had murdered innocent travelers. They deserved their fate. He knelt down and searched the bodies one by one. He found 12,000 blue star coins on the bandit leader. The other 3 collectively yielded another 8,500 blue star coins. He also found several bank cards, but without their passwords, he tossed them aside without a second glance. Total loot, 20,500 blue star coins. Pathetic, Luo Chen muttered, stowing the coins within his spatial storage. Finished with the corpses, he pressed deeper into the second-order beast zone. For most of the rest of the day, Luo Chen functioned as an unstoppable hunter. Against swift second-order gale wolves, who favored pack tactics, he drew isolated individuals out. Dodging their pounces, he delivered fatal throat-cutting strikes. Against second-order iron, armored boars, whose thick hides defied ordinary blades, he unleashed Spatial Slash to pierce their tough skin and stab directly into their hearts for instant kills. Darkness fell completely over the forest. Roars of third-order alien beasts echoed in the distance. Only then did Luo Chen halt his hunting. He located a concealed cave and tallied his gains. 32 second-order alien beasts slain. 32 beast cores sat neatly inside his spatial dimension. He lit a fire at the cave mouth, skewered a plump gale wolf haunch, and roasted it over the flames. Grease sizzled, and rich meat aroma filled the air. Sprinkling simple salt, he ate the tender, roasted meat heartily. Full and satisfied, he leaned against the cave wall and rested. Meanwhile, in a luxury ward of Jianghai No. 1 People's Hospital, rage burned unchecked. Mei Jibo lay in bed, his head heavily bandaged. Bruises purpled his face, and stitches marked his forehead. Every small movement sent jolts of agony through him. Beside him, Suyu fared little better. Her pretty face was swollen and disfigured. Her hair was disheveled, and her eyes were red from crying. She dared not look at her own reflection. Mei Pian, head of the Mei household, sat beside the bed, radiating the imposing aura of a powerful noble. His face was dark with fury. Useless. All of you are useless. How could a worthless F-rank kid beat my son like this? Zhou Jingde is incompetent as well. He cannot even keep a student under control. He slammed his palm against the nightstand, splitting its solid wooden surface. Mei Jibo's mother sat nearby, venom thick in her tone. That brute Luo Chen. He hurt my son so badly. I will make him suffer unimaginably. I want him flayed and broken. Hearing his parents' words, Mei Jibo struggled to sit upright. Pain flared from his wounds, making him gasp, yet he snarled fiercely. Father, mother, avenge me. Break his limbs and force him to kneel and beg for mercy. Suyu was hurt by him too. You must punish him for what he did to us. Mei Pian's heart ached seeing his son's injuries. He pressed him gently back onto the bed. Rest easy, son. I have sent the steward to gather information. That orphan boy with no living relatives and no backing dared harm my son. He is asking for death. The ward door opened softly. The steward stepped inside, head bowed and respectful. Master, madam, I have uncovered the facts. The steward bowed low. Luo Chun lost his parents 10 years ago during the alien beast tide. He lived alone in the Old Town district with no known kin. Today he sold his Old Town residence for 300,000 Blue Star coins and rode out of the city alone. He left the city? Mei Pian raised an eyebrow, then sneered. Bold fool. An F. Rank nobody rushing out into the wilderness. He is practically digging his own grave. He paused, then gave his order to the steward. Send Ahu and Ah Bao with 3 more men. Hunt down Luo Chun outside the city and dispose of him. Ahu and Ah Bao were both martial warrior tier 7, captains of the Mei household guards. Sending them after a newly awakened youth was far more than enough force. Very well, master. I shall arrange it at once. The steward bowed and withdrew. A vicious grin spread across Mei Jibwa's face, ignoring the pain from his wounds. Excellent. Luo Chun, you struck me. You will die a miserable death. You will learn what it means to offend Mei Jibwa. Beside him, Suyu stopped weeping. Malice flickered in her eyes. She touched her swollen face, burning with hatred. Luo Chun had humiliated her publicly. Death would be too kind for him. Once she recovered, she wished to see his corpse and trample over it to soothe her anger. Mei Pian looked at his son, then glanced at Suyu. He turned matters over in his mind. His son possessed a rank flame dragon talent with boundless future potential. Suyu bore a rank ice sky phoenix talent. They made a fine match. Once this affair concluded, he would encourage them to grow closer, which would benefit the Mei household greatly. Inside the cave, Luo Chun remained unaware that a death hunting squad had set out for him. Back at the city gate, the 2 sentry guards had never seen the school uniformed youth return. Both silently assumed he had been devoured by wild beasts. They gave it little further thought. Countless people died out in the wilderness every single day. They sighed briefly and put the matter out of their minds. The next dawn, birds chirped through the woods as the sky paled. Luo Chun opened his eyes. A full night's rest had restored him to peak condition. His chi, blood surged strong within his body. Today, I will venture deeper. Hunt more second, order alien beasts, earn more funds, and push toward Martial Master Realm as soon as possible. Luo Chun stood up, slung his saber over his back, stamped out the campfire, and stepped out of the cave into the morning sunlight. He wove through thick woodland with his saber on his back. From sunrise until noon, he advanced steadily deeper into the second order beast territory. His saber never stopped moving. A second order 5 black spot python struck from tree branches, its fangs glinting poisonous green. Luo Chun dodged the fatal bite, unleashed spatial slash, and sliced cleanly through the snake's 7-inch vital spot. Venomous blood sprayed. The massive serpent crashed heavily to the ground, kicking up clouds of dust. He crossed paths with a second order 6 iron arm ape. It beat its chest roaring, its arms hard as tempered steel to ordinary blades. Luo Chun circled and dueled it. Spotting an opening as it swung its fists, he slid beneath its body. He drove his saber upward into its abdomen, destroyed its internal organs, and pulled the blade free. The great ape collapsed dead. Every second, order alien beast he encountered fell beneath his blade. He dug out their beast cores and stored them in his spatial dimension. By noon, Luo Chun leaned against a large tree to take a short rest. With a thought, he checked his spatial storage. It was already half filled with second-order beast cores, most of which were high-grade cores from 5th and 6th tier second-order beasts, worth a substantial sum. At this rate, I'll earn enough money to break through to Warrior Master today, Luo Chun said with a faint smile. Just then, a sense of danger washed over him. His expression turned sharp, and he spun abruptly to stare into the woods behind him. 5 sharp auras were closing in fast, heading straight for him. Luo Chun rose slowly, hand resting on the hilt of his blade, his gaze turning cold. Moments later, 5 figures stood before him. The leader wore black fitted combat clothing, his surging physical energy marking him as a 7th-tier warrior. Beside him stood another man with slightly weaker power, a 6th-tier warrior. Behind them were 3 robust guards, all 3rd-tier warriors clutching standard-issue steel blades, their faces fierce. The 5 spread out in a fan shape, cutting off every possible escape route for Luo Chun. The leader, Ahu, sized Luo Chun up. Seeing how young he was and that he traveled alone, he grinned openly. Undisguised greed in his tone, he said, "So you're Luo Chun. Impressive, making it into the second zone so quickly. You've given us quite the hunt. You must have stumbled onto some great opportunity to slay second-order alien beasts. Spit out what you found and hand over all your treasures, and we'll make this less painful for you." Luo Chun met the eyes of the 5 men calmly and spoke in a flat voice. Who sent you? Was it that fool Mei Jibua, or that old rascal Zhou Jingda? Heh, it does not matter who sent us. Answer my question first. What great fortune did you obtain? Speak. Ah Bao stepped forward. His voice shrill and threatening. He said, I suggest you cooperate. Hand over what you have, and you might keep your body intact. Force us to act, and death will be the mercy you get. Luo Chen looked at their arrogant faces and quickly assessed the situation in his mind. 5 foes in total. Ahu, the 7th tier warrior, was the strongest. Next came Ah Bao at 6th tier warrior. The remaining 3 third tier warriors posed little threat. Luo Chen himself was a 6th tier warrior. Ahead, on clash with Ahu was no sure victory, but he possessed the killing technique Spatial Slash. If he struck by surprise, he stood a good chance of killing the man with one blow. If he could take out Ahu first, the remaining 4 would be easy to handle. Having made up his mind, Luo Chen wore a mocking smirk and goaded them on purpose. You want my opportunity? Then see if you have the life to take it. Do the 5 of you misfits really think you are worthy to ask about what I have gained? Seeking death. Enraged, Ahu had never intended to leave a witness alive anyway. Infuriated by Luo Chen's defiance, he unleashed his full physical energy and charged forward wielding a thick, backed blade. Boy, since you refuse a kind offer, you will die. The full power of a 7th tier warrior erupted. The ground sank slightly under his footsteps. His heavy blade howled through the air, swinging down toward Luo Chen with overwhelming force, creating sharp cracks in the atmosphere. Ahu was fully confident this strike would cleave the young man in two. The instant the blade was about to land, Luo Chen moved. Instead of dodging, he took one step forward. His right hand drew the long blade slung over his back. He poured every ounce of his spatial power into the weapon, and a faint transparent ripple spread across its edge. Spatial Slash. Luo Chen shouted internally as he swept his blade horizontally forward. SSHHH. A semi-transparent spatial blade tore free from the weapon. It moved at blinding speed, slicing through air as easily as tearing paper. It broke Ahu's blade momentum and shot straight for his face. So fast, Ahu's eyes widened in shock. A deadly sense of peril crashed over him. He barely had time to tilt his head aside by instinct. Yet Spatial Slash was far too swift. Uffed. The spatial blade severed Ahu's head. Hot blood spurted outward. Ahu's body thudded to the ground, lifeless. One strike. A 7th tier warrior slain instantly. Complete silence fell over the scene. The smirk on Ah Bao's face froze mid-expression. His eyes bulged, unable to believe what he had just witnessed. Their 7th tier leader, Brother Hu, dead in a single blow? Boss, Brother Hu. The 3 guards were stunned, crying out in shock. Ah Bao recovered first. Fear flooded his features, yet greed burned stronger. He gritted his teeth and yelled. That was a secret art. He cannot use it many times. Do not fear. Attack together. Such arts drain immense power. He must be nearly spent. Kill him, and all his fortune and opportunities will be ours. Shouting to bolster his own courage, Ah Bao drew his blade and charged ahead. He knew there was no turning back. If he failed to kill Luo Chen, the Mei clan would execute him upon his return. He had to gamble that Luo Chen was truly exhausted. Roused by his words, the 3 guards rushed forward with drawn blades. Luo Chen let out a cold laugh. Instead of clashing directly with Ah Bao, he darted toward the 3 low-tier guards. Eliminate the small fry first, then deal with the main threat. No. Ah Bao's face paled. He tried to will back to defend, but it was already too late. Luo Chen moved like lightning. Reaching the first guard just as the man lifted his blade, he twisted his wrist. He drew his sword in an arc, slitting the man's throat. Uffed. Blood splattered. The guard clutched his neck and fell, eyes wide. Terrified out of their wits, the remaining 2 guards hacked wildly with their blades. Luo Chen sidestepped their blows. He kicked one hard in the chest. The man's sternum cracked with a sharp snap. He flew backward and crashed to the ground, dead. Immediately afterward, Luo Chen drove his blade through the heart of the last guard. Barely 3 seconds had passed. All 3 third-tier guards lay dead. Only Ah Bao remained. Ah Bao's hands trembled around his sword. He glanced at the 4 corpses on the ground, then at Luo Chen, who showed no sign of fatigue whatsoever. Despair settled heavy in his chest. Hardly spent. That had been no secret art. That was pure strength. Fear coiled around his heart. He wanted to flee. He inched backward while forcing a show of bravado. Do not get cocky, boy. We serve the Mei clan. Killing us will bring their full wrath down upon you. Surrender now, and I might plead for mercy on your behalf. Even as he spoke, he knew flight would not save him. The Mei clan would punish him for failure if he ran home. Before he could finish speaking, Luo Qin advanced step by step, blade in hand, eyes icy cold. Afraid now? Where was that arrogance a moment ago? Ah Bao gritted his teeth and strove to raise his blade. But he had barely lifted the weapon. Too late. Another spatial slash. SSHHH. The transparent energy blade cut horizontally across his waist. Ah Bao let out a shrill scream. His body was sliced clean in two. His lower half stayed where he stood, while his upper torso tumbled some distance away. Blood and internal organs spilled across the earth. He convulsed on the ground for a few moments before falling still. All 5 Mei clan enforcers were dead. Luo Chun sheathed his sword and took a few shallow breaths. Casting spatial slash twice in quick succession cost him considerable physical energy, yet it remained within his limits. He knelt down and searched each corpse. Altogether, he found 55,000 blue star coins. What cheapskates, Luo Chun muttered, storing the money in his spatial space. He ignored their shoddy weapons and left them lying on the ground. Clearly Mei Jibwa sent these men. Luo Chun brushed dust off his hands, his gaze turning frosty. I went too easy on him before. He dares send assassins after me. Fine. Once I grow stronger, I will settle scores with the entire Mei clan. With my system, I will not endure such humiliation. Having dealt with his pursuers, Luo Chun found a clean open spot and built a fire. He skewered a chunk of alien, beast leg meat over the flames. Fat sizzled, and rich aromatic smoke rose. As he turned the roasting meat, his mind wandered. Thank goodness he had sold his house to boost his power. Without that choice, he would surely have died facing those men today. He needed to raise his strength fast. The National Martial Arts College entrance exam was only days away. Through the Martial Alliance, he could register for the exam and aim for Kyoto God of War Academy, the most prestigious martial arts academy across the nation. Endless resources awaited there, the true path to becoming a powerful warrior. After eating his fill, he rested for half an hour until his physical energy had fully recovered. Then he set off deeper into the mountain forest. For the rest of the afternoon, Luo Chun hunted relentlessly. He went wherever alien beasts roamed. No second, order beast could stand against him for more than 3 moves. When facing tough opponents, one spatial slash settled the fight. Sunset painted the sky dark. Deep, rumbling roars of third-order alien beasts echoed in the distance. Luo Chun decided it was time to stop. That is enough. Time to head back to the city. Sell these beast cores to fund further power-ups. Greater strength lets me hunt higher rank beasts, which brings far greater rewards. With that thought, he hurried toward the city gates. Half an hour later, Luo Chun reached the city gate. 2 gate guards leaned against the wall chatting. They spotted him at once and gaped in surprise. Wow, kid. You are alive. We did not see you come back yesterday. We figured a beast had gotten you, one guard blurted out. The second guard smacked him on the back of the head. Watch your mouth. Can you not say anything pleasant? Luo Chin's expression soured. He mentally complained about how eager these two seemed to imagine him dead. The guard on the right quickly smiled apologetically and bowed slightly. My friend speaks without thinking. Please do not take offense. You are truly remarkable. So young, yet you survived overnight out in the wilds alone. You have extraordinary promise. The left side guard scratched his head, also offering an awkward apology. Right, my bad. Please overlook my careless words. It is fine. Luo Chun waved a hand, his tone calm. As you can see, I am unharmed. Thank you for your concern. I will be going now. Good work on duty, gentlemen. No trouble at all. Take care. Watching Luo Chun walk away, the 2 guards whispered in amazement. Incredible. Only just awakened. Yet he survived 2 days and 1 night outside the city completely unhurt. A genuine genius. Absolutely. Far better than us. He must be some hidden prodigy from a powerful clan. We misjudged him at first. Luo Chun paid no mind to their whispers and headed straight for the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce. The main hall was bustling as usual. He walked familiarly to the purchasing counter. Behind the counter sat a young woman in formal business attire. Glancing up and seeing Luo Chen's student-style clothes, she assumed he was a new hunter selling merely 1 or 2 first-order beast cores. Where do I go to sell beast cores? Luo Chen asked. Right here. Show me what you have. The counter lady barely lifted her eyes, speaking casually. Luo Chen said nothing more. With a thought, he poured all the beast cores out of his spatial storage. Clatter. More than 100 beast cores spilled onto the counter, piling into a small mound. All second-order cores. Many were from high-tier 5th and 6th level second-order beasts. The lazy look vanished from the woman's face. She shot to her feet, eyes wide with shock. Second-order beast cores. And so many high-tier ones. One moment, please. I will tally these for you. She could hardly believe her eyes. This youth, barely newly awakened, had single-handedly collected such a huge stock of second-order beast cores. More than 10 minutes passed before she finished counting. She looked up at Luo Chun with deep respect. My apologies for the wait. 129 beast cores in total. 10 third-tier second-order, 8 fourth-tier second-order, 76 fifth-tier second-order, 35 sixth-tier second-order. That comes to 650, 2,000 blue star coins. We will round it up to 700,000 blue star coins. Does that work for you? Very well. Luo Chen nodded and handed over his bank card. Transfer the funds to this card. Right away, please wait. She operated her terminal. Moments later, she looked up again. The money has been sent. You may check your notification. Luo Chen glanced at the text message confirming receipt of payment and turned to leave the Chamber of Commerce. Long after he walked out the main entrance, the woman remained stunned. She murmured to herself, I wonder which school this prodigy attends. He has already begun hunting second-order beasts only days after awakening. Truly monstrous talent. Leaving the martial arts Chamber of Commerce, Luo Chen found a noodle shop and ordered beef noodles, eating ravenously. After 2 days of roasted beast meat in the wilderness, he craved proper cooked food. Full and satisfied, he booked a room in an unremarkable small inn. Once inside the city, there was no urgent need to power up overnight. He would rest soundly and plan his resource-spending strategy tomorrow. Meanwhile, inside the Mei clan villa in Jianghai City, Mei Pian sat on his living room sofa. His right eyelid kept twitching, filling him with irrational irritation. It has been an entire day? Have we located that low-born boy yet? Mei Pian frowned and called out sharply, Steward, enter. The steward hurried forward and bowed respectfully. What are your orders, clan lord? Still no trace of that whelp? Not a word from Ahu and his men. Mei Pian's expression darkened. I am sorry, my lord. Ahu's group has not returned. The steward bowed, then quickly tried to soothe him. Still, it is quite possible the boy was eaten by alien beasts. After all, he only has an F-grade talent. He ought not survive long outside the city. Ahu's men may still be searching the woods for his remains. Mei Pian's mood lightened slightly. Perhaps I worry for nothing. Give them 2 more days. If no news comes, assume the beast got him. It is too easy an end for him. How dare he assault my son Jibwa? You may withdraw. As you command, clan lord. The steward bowed and departed. Mei Pian thought nothing of Luo Chun. To him, a powerless commoner boy dying out in the wilderness was of no consequence. He could never stir up any real trouble. Little did he know, his 5 elite enforcers had long since turned to forest fertilizer, and the boy he dismissed as worthless sat in an inn room, figuring out how to spend his resources so he could return to confront the Mei clan with overwhelming speed. Inside the inn room, Luo Chen sat cross-legged on the bed. He activated his system interface with a thought. Host, Luo Chun. Cultivation level, 6th, tier warrior. Talent, D, grade spatial storage space, 100 cubic meters. Learned combat skills, spatial slash. Vital energy, 20200. Assets held, 775,500 blue star coins. Looking at the more than 775,000 blue star coins, he issued a mental command without hesitation. System, convert 775,500 blue star coins. Ding. Conversion complete. 775500 blue star coins exchanged for 775,500 vital energy points. Current total vital energy points, 795,700. Combining his leftover 20,000 plus points with the newly converted resources, he held nearly 800,000 vital energy in reserve. Luo Chen's eyes lit up. He would upgrade his talent first. System, raise spatial talent to C grade. Ding. Consume 100,000 vital energy points. Talent upgraded to C grade spatial. Storage space expanded to 1,000 cubic meters. New skill unlocked. Spatial compression. Spatial compression, area, control skill. Compress space within a targeted zone to restrain and suppress enemy movement. Suppression strength and range improve with host cultivation and talent rank. Cool. Surging spatial power flooded into his forehead. His perception of the surrounding space multiplied tenfold. With a thought, he could bend nearby space to create invisible restraining pressure. What a formidable skill. With this crowd control ability, I can hold my own even against high-rank alien beasts. Luo Chun smiled faintly, then gave his next order. System, spend all remaining vital energy to raise my cultivation. Ding. Cultivation advancement commencing. Consume 70,000 vital energy points. Cultivation rises to 7th tier warrior. Consume 80,000 vital energy points. Cultivation rises to 8th tier warrior. Consume 90,000 vital energy points. Cultivation rises to 9th tier warrior. Consume 100,000 vital energy points. Breakthrough achieved. Warrior Master 1st tier. Consume 200,000 vital energy points. Cultivation rises to Warrior Master 2nd tier. Ding. Cultivation advancement finished. Current level, Warrior Master 2nd tier. Remaining vital energy points, 155,700. Power far greater than before erupted inside his body. The energy cyclone within his dantian condensed from gaseous state into liquid. A faint aura of pressure radiated off him. Feeling the surging strength inside him, Luo Chun nodded in satisfaction. The tension draining from his body, he lay down and fell asleep. 2 full days of wilderness fighting plus multiple breakthroughs had exhausted him greatly. The next morning, Luo Chun woke at dawn. After washing up, he headed straight for the Jianghai branch of the Martial Alliance. Registering for the National Martial Arts College entrance exam could only be done through the Martial Alliance, a rule enforced across Blue Star. Few visitors filled the Martial Alliance hall. The official exam was still several days away. Most students had only come to gather information. Luo Chun walked to the registration window and handed over his identity card. A middle-aged staff member input his information. When he saw the note stating, expelled from Jianghai No. 1 High School for assaulting fellow students, he glanced up at Luo Chun with undisguised contempt. Attacking 2 A-grade talented peers? He hardly seemed intimidating. When newly awakened, ranks held little difference between F grade and A grade. Though thinking such thoughts, he finished processing the paperwork quickly and handed Luo Chun his exam admission ticket. Done. You are registered. Luo Chun took the ticket and nodded briefly before turning away. He noticed the man's scorn yet paid it no mind. Such people were not worth his attention. Leaving the Martial Alliance, he went directly to the city gates without delay. Now at Warrior Master 2nd tier, 2nd zone, alien beasts could no longer satisfy him. To earn massive sums, he needed to enter the 3rd Order Beast territory. 3rd Order Beast cores sold for 10 times the price of 2nd Order ones. Greater earnings meant faster power growth. He had also observed a pattern. Every talent rank up unlocked a brand new spatial skill, each more powerful than the last. The same 2 guards stood watch at the gate. Seeing Luo Chun approach, they greeted him warmly. Off outside the city again, young man? On duty, gentlemen. Luo Chun smiled and nodded. You have real nerve, heading out again only 1 day after returning. Still, the wilderness holds great danger. Stay safe. The guard on the left warned him sincerely. Thank you for the warning. I know what I am doing. Luo Chun waved and strode out through the city gate. The 2 guards watched his departing figure and sighed. That boy is fearless. So young yet so bold. He may truly go far one day. Indeed, far better than those pampered rich heirs. More than an hour later, Luo Chun stepped into the territory of 3rd Order alien beasts. The trees around grew taller and denser. The stench of blood hung thicker in the air, and the occasional roars of alien beasts carried far heavier auras than those of 2nd Order beasts. As Luo Chun advanced, his nose twitched. He caught a faint, fragrant spiritual scent. Spiritual herbs? His eyes lit up. He slipped forward quietly, following the aroma. Pushing aside thick shrubbery, he spotted more than a dozen spiritual herbs growing in the open ground ahead. For boar emerald, green leaves, 3rd Order spirit, gathering grass. Another 8 glowed with faint white light. 4th Order essence, condensing grass, extremely valuable. Luo Chun knew full well that where spiritual herbs grew, guardian beasts would surely lurk nearby. He swept his gaze over the area and spotted a huge saber-toothed tiger lying behind a massive boulder. Over 3 meters long, it boasted 2 snow-white blade-sharp fangs. Its muscles rippled beneath its pelt, and its aura was imposing. This was a 9th layer 3rd Order alien beast, barely a step away from 4th Order strength. Damn, a 9th layer 3rd Order saber-toothed tiger. I can't beat it head on right now. Luo Chun's eyes swiveled as an idea formed. Holding his breath, he crept forward under cover of the bushes. When a few meters from the herbs, his hand shot out like lightning. He plucked all the herbs in one go and stowed them instantly inside his spatial storage. The moment the herbs vanished, the saber-toothed tiger, dozing atop the boulder, snapped its eyes open. Sensing the loss of the spiritual herbs it had guarded for days, it flew into a rage. Roar! A deafening tiger roar echoed. The giant beast sprang to its feet. Catching sight of Luo Chun, the thief who had stolen its herbs, it burned with fury. Pushing off with all four limbs, it charged toward him amid howling winds. A full, power pounce from a ninth, layer third, order beast. Spatial compression. Luo Chun shouted under his breath. He channeled spatial power and pressed it hard down upon the tiger. Space in front of the saber-toothed tiger twisted and shrank. An invisible immense force bore down on its body. Its pounce froze mid-air, held immobile. Roar! The saber-toothed tiger thrashed in wrath. Its muscles tensed, and it forced itself to resist the compressive power. Quite the brute strength. Luo Chun dared not prolong the fight. He loosed another spatial slash. Sharp spatial blade, chi streaked straight for the tiger's eyes. Squelch! The spatial slash sliced open one of its eyes. Blood gushed out at once. Roar! The saber-toothed tiger howled in agony. It was nearly breaking free from spatial compression. Seeing this, Luo Chun turned and fled without hesitation. He had unleashed two major skills, yet failed to kill it. If he waited for the beast to break fully free, he would be the one in trouble. A wise man lives to fight another day. He could return for payback once his power grew. The saber-toothed tiger finally tore free of spatial restraint. When it looked up, the thief was long gone. It could only roar furiously where it stood, shaking leaves loose all around. Luo Chun ran non-stop for more than half an hour. Only after confirming the tiger was not chasing him did he stop, leaning against a tree to catch his breath. Phew! Ninth, layer third, order beasts are no joke. He had barely caught his breath when his gaze sharpened. He spun sharply toward the woods behind him. Someone was stalking him. Ever since he had plucked the spiritual herbs, a presence had dogged his trail, sneaking about. Luo Chun sneered inwardly. Were these men from the Mei family? Or greedy robbers lured by treasure? He gave no sign he had noticed. He leaned against the tree, pretending to rest. Sure enough, seconds later, a black figure leaped down from a tree. Gripping a short blade, the man charged straight for Luo Chun's back. Cloth masked his face. Greed and triumph glittered in his eyes. His mind raced. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Boy, those spiritual herbs are mine. When the short blade was half a meter from Luo Chun's back, Luo Chun moved. Spatial compression. What? You saw me. The black, cloaked man's face paled. Space clamped tight around him. He could not move an inch. Triumph turned instantly to terror. Spatial slash. Luo Chun spoke in a cold, flat tone. A backward, swinging spatial slash cut through the air. Rip. So fast, I can't move. Am I going to die? Damn it. These were the last thoughts in the stalker's mind before his head rolled to the ground. Blood splattered across the earth. He had not lasted a single move. Pure free loot for Luo Chun. Luo Chun retrieved his own blade, knelt down, and began searching the corpse. Soon he pulled a spatial ring from the man's bosom. Wow, a spatial ring. Luo Chun's eyes lit up. Anyone who owned one could hardly be poor. Yet he tried and failed. His current mental power could not erase the original owner's mark to unlock it. System, can you open this spatial ring? Ding. Consume 1,000 chi, blood points to erase the mental imprint on the ring. Very well. Do it. Ding. 1,000 chi, blood points consumed. Imprint successfully erased. Luo Chun sent his consciousness into the ring. The next instant, a wild grin spread across his face. Stacked neatly inside was a mountain of blue star coins. Roughly counting, there were 12,220,000. Besides that lay more than 10 third order beast cores and 2 third order spirit gathering grass. Ha! Perfect timing. I was short of funds to upgrade my talents, and someone just delivers wealth to my door. Luo Chun laughed heartily. Since you are so generous, I shall make full use of everything. Convert all of this to boost my strength. No sooner said than done. System, convert all 12,200,000 blue star coins. Ding. Conversion complete. 12,200,000 blue star coins exchanged for 12,200,000 chi blood points. System, raise my spatial talent to grade A. Ding. Consume 1 million chi blood points. Talent promoted to grade B spatial. Storage space expanded to 1,000 cubic meters. Ding. Consume 10 million chi blood points. Talent promoted to grade A spatial. Storage space expanded to 10,000 cubic meters. New martial arts techniques comprehended. Spatial flash, spatial burst. Spatial flash, short, range spatial teleportation. Range increases with host cultivation. Usable for surprise attacks and evasion. Spatial burst. Detonate space within a designated area to deal large-scale explosive damage. Power grows alongside host strength. Vast spatial power flooded into his mind. Luo Chun felt as if he had become a master over space itself. The barriers of space all around lay clear to his perception. With a thought, he could teleport or trigger explosions. One skill for displacement, one for area of effect destruction. Combined with his earlier crowd control and single target killing moves, his offense, defense, and mobility were all maxed out. Awesome. Luo Chun clenched his fists, brimming with confidence. If I met that saber-toothed tiger now, I would beat it thoroughly. System, spend remaining chi blood points to elevate my cultivation to warrior, 5th layer. Ding. Commencing cultivation advancement. Consume 300,000 chi blood points. Cultivation raised to warrior, 3rd layer. Consume 400,000 chi blood points. Cultivation raised to warrior, 4th layer. Consume 500,000 chi blood points. Cultivation raised to warrior, 5th layer. Ding. Cultivation advancement finished. Remaining chi blood points, 174,700. Boom. Powerful chi blood surged through his body. The pressure of warrior, 5th layer radiated outward, bending surrounding weeds flat against the ground. Luo Chun stretched his limbs. Explosive power coursed through every inch of him. At warrior, 5th layer, with 4 techniques from grade, a spatial talent, he could fight even early, stage 4th order alien beasts, let alone the 9th layer 3rd order saber-toothed tiger. Time for revenge. Luo Chen's figure flickered. He used spatial flash to travel, vanishing into the woods in a few breaths. A dozen minutes later, he returned to the earlier clearing. The saber-toothed tiger still paced there, growling in rage. One eye continued to bleed. Catching Luo Chen's scent, the tiger whirled its head. Seeing the thief dare to come back, it flew into unbridled fury. Roar! Pushing off with all 4 paws, it charged forward in towering wrath, jaws gaping wide. Fetid wind washing over Luo Chun. Still putting on airs? Luo Chun sneered. Spatial compression. Far stronger spatial power bore down. The saber-toothed tiger's huge frame buckled under the pressure and crashed heavily onto the ground. It could not even lift its head, only growling in furious frustration. The same move, yet many times more powerful than before. Spatial burst. Luo Chun pointed at the tiger's back. Boom. Space around the saber-toothed tiger detonated violently. Terrifying explosive force ripped out its fur, tore open its flesh, and exposed bone beneath streams of blood. Roar! The saber-toothed tiger wailed in agony. Luo Chun flickered with spatial flash, appearing beside the beast. He raised his long blade high, channeling spatial power fully into the edge. Spatial slash. Swish. Supremely sharp spatial blade chi sliced across the saber-toothed tiger's neck. Its massive head flew upward, blood spraying 3 feet high. The giant beast's body thudded to the ground. It twitched a few times and fell still forever. 9th layer 3rd order saber-toothed tiger slain. Luo Chun stepped forward and dug out its beast core, grinning with satisfaction. That's more like it. I fled in disgrace earlier. Now I have my satisfying revenge. Having settled scores, he gained a clear sense of his current strength. He could roam freely across the 3rd order beast zone. For the next few days, Luo Chun roamed freely through 3rd order territory. 3rd order 5th or 6th layer beasts fell to single blade strikes. 7th and 8th layer beasts were trapped with spatial compression before finishing blows. When packs of beasts appeared, one spatial burst mowed them down in swathes. When hungry, he roasted beast meat. When tired, he rested inside caves. Once awake, he resumed hunting. 5 days slipped by. Only 2 days remained before the martial examination. Luo Chen's storage space brimmed with 3rd order beast cores. His harvest was enormous. That's enough. Time to head back to town. Selling these cores will push my strength another huge leap forward. Luo Chen oriented himself and set off toward the city gates. When he arrived, the 2 guards stared at him in shock. Wow, young man. You've been gone 5 whole days. The guard on the left gaped. We thought. Well, you are incredible, surviving outside the city for 5 days. You 2 are on duty again. Good work. Luo Chen greeted them with a smile. Not as tough as hunting alien beasts out there. The guard on the right looked on in admiration. You must be taking the martial examination. With your skill, you will surely get outstanding results. I appreciate the good wishes. I'll head into rest. I barely slept these past few days out in the wild. Go ahead, take care. As they watched Luo Chen walk away, The two guards murmured in awe. Truly appearances can deceive. So young, yet he survived 5 days beyond the walls. A genuine genius. Mark my words, he will amount to great things one day. Ignoring their whispers, Luo Chun headed straight for the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce. As soon as he stepped into the hall, the young female counter clerk recognized him at once and hurried over with a smile. Student, have you come to sell beast cores again? Yes, I have far more this time than the counter can hold. Should we move somewhere else? Of course. Please follow me to our VIP room. She led him up to the second-floor VIP lounge, her mind reeling. Last time he had sold more than 100 second-order beast cores. If even the counter could not hold his current haul, just how many cores did he possess? Inside the private room, she poured him spirit-infused tea. We are ready. You may bring them out. Luo Chen nodded. With a thought, beast cores and spiritual herbs poured out from his storage. Hundreds of third-order beast cores piled into a hill. Beside them sat more than a dozen spiritual herbs, 8 of them fourth-order essence, condensing grass. The clerk froze. Her eyes bulged, her mouth opening and closing wordlessly. She was completely stunned. All third-order beast cores, and fourth-order spiritual herbs? Only a few days had passed, yet he had gone from hunting second-order beasts to sweeping through third-order zones. Was this even human? After a long moment, she recovered her wits. Please wait a moment. I will calculate your total price immediately. She spent more than half an hour carefully counting everything, then spoke respectfully. Thank you for waiting. Final calculation, for third-order spiritual herbs at 300,000 each, 8 fourth-order spiritual herbs at 1 million each, 240 third-order fifth-layer beast cores at 50,000 each, 65 third-order sixth-layer at 60,000 each, 28 third-order seventh-layer at 70,000 each, 16 third-order eighth-layer at 80,000 each, 1 third-order ninth-layer at 90,000. Total, 29,330,000 Blue Star coins. We can round it up to 30 million. Is that acceptable? Fine. Transfer it to this card. Luo Chun handed over his bank card. She completed the transfer quickly and handed the card back with both hands, her attitude far more deferential than on their last meeting. By the way, do you sell high-quality battle blades here? Luo Chun asked casually. Certainly. Please follow me to our weapon exhibition hall on the 3rd floor. We carry weapons up to 5th grade. She guided him upstairs. Rows of finely crafted weapons lined the displays. Luo Chun scanned them, and his gaze settled on an all-black battle blade. I'll take this one. What is its price? That is a 5th grade black, mystic battle blade. It sells for 5 million Blue Star coins. Luo Chun nodded. He pulled out the spatial ring looted from the dead assassin. Do you purchase spatial rings? The clerk took it and inspected it. This is a 50 cubic meter spatial ring. Its market price is 5 million. Normally we offer 4,500,000 for buybacks. But as our valued client, I can give you the full 5 million to offset the cost of this blade. Does that suit you? Perfect. Let's do that. Luo Chun picked up the blade and swung it. It felt well, weighted and sharp. He was satisfied. I'm off. No further business for today. Please come again soon. Staring at his departing figure, the clerk muttered to herself. To slay a 9th-layer third-order beast in merely a few days, he is monstrous. Which great clan produced such a genius? Luo Chun checked into a high-grade hotel. He took a hot bath and felt thoroughly refreshed. Seated on the bed, he opened his system panel. With the newly arrived 30 million plus leftover funds, he held more than 30 million total. Keep 1 million for emergency use. Convert the remaining 29 million. Ding. Conversion complete. 29 million Blue Star coins exchanged for 29 million Qi blood points. Current total Qi blood points, 29,174,700. System, raise my cultivation as high as possible. Ding. Advancing cultivation level. Consume 600,000 Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to warrior, 6th layer. Consume 700,000 Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to warrior, 7th layer. Consume 800,000 Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to warrior, 8th layer. Consume 900,000 Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to warrior, 9th layer. Consume 1 million Qi blood points. Break through to martial, king, 1st layer. Consume 2 million Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to martial, king, 2nd layer. Consume 3 million Qi blood points. Cultivation rises to martial, king, 3rd layer. Consume 4 million chi blood points. Cultivation rises to Martial, King, 4th layer. Consume 5 million chi blood points. Cultivation rises to Martial, King, 5th layer. Consume 6 million chi blood points. Cultivation rises to Martial, King, 6th layer. Boom. Terrifying pressure burst outward from Luo Chun. The hotel room windows hummed and vibrated. Martial, King realm. A cold smile tugged at Luo Chun's lips. He brought up his full system panel. Host, Luo Chun. Cultivation, Martial, King, 6th layer. Talent, grade, a spatial storage, 10,000 cubic meters. Known martial arts, spatial slash, spatial compression, spatial flash, spatial burst. Remaining chi, blood points, 5,174,700. Assets held, 1 million blue star coins. Standing by the floor-to-ceiling window of the luxury suite, Luo Chun concealed his martial, King 6th layer aura completely. Neon lights glowed over the bustling city streets outside, yet his eyes held no warmth at all. Mei Jibua, Suyu, Zhojingda, you trampled all over me back then. Now it is time for you to pay your debts. A frigid smile curved his lips. With his system, he saw no need for slow, elaborate schemes. The martial examination drew near. Tonight he would wipe these troublesome pests out once and for all, so they would not trouble him later. You loved abusing your power so much. Go together and take your martial examination in the underworld. With those words, he donned black tight, fitting attire, covered his face with a cloth mask, pushed open the window, and leaped out. His figure flickered mid-air as spatial flash activated. He vanished into the night in an instant. Darting through streets to evade surveillance, Luo Chun moved like a ghost of darkness. Several flashes carried him across most of the city until he landed outside the walls of the Mei family villa compound. As a third-tier martial clan in Zhanghai City, the Mei family owned a grand villa compound. 2 guards of warrior, 3rd layers stood sentry at the gate. Security was tight. To Luo Chun, these defenses were meaningless. He activated spatial flash once more, passing cleanly through the compound wall without a sound to land in the courtyard. The 2 guards yawned and chatted, noticing nothing amiss. Luo Chun wasted no time on low-level lackeys. He followed corridors toward the 2nd floor of the main building. His spatial perception mapped every person within the villa. Mei Jibua's master bedroom lay at the far end of the hallway. Voices of merry revelry drifted out from within. Luo Chun paused briefly, then sneered. He flashed straight through the window into the room. Bright lamps lit the chamber. Mei Jibua and Suyu sat together drinking and chatting, fully occupied with their joyful late-night gathering. The sudden cold wind made both of them stiff. They spun their heads sharply toward the intruder. Who's there? Mei Jibua jolted and shouted sharply. When he saw the masked figure by the bedside, rage flared. He grabbed a bathrobe and threw it on, pointing furiously. Do you know whose home this is? My father is Mei Pian, a martial, king, realm expert. You broke into my villa. You will leave this place dead. Suyu shrieked in fright. She wrapped herself tightly in bed covers, trembling and turning pale. Mei Jibua, enjoying your night, are you? Luo Chun's voice was calm, laced with undisguised mockery. It's you, Luo Chun. Mei Jibua recognized his voice. His pupils shrank before he broke into a vicious grin. So the F-grade trash survived the wilderness. And now you walk right into my trap seeking death. He burst forth with his flame, dragon talent. Flames blazed over his right fist, which surged toward Luo Chun's face. The scorching wave carried the aura of warrior, 9th layer, impressive in display. Die! Luo Chun stood perfectly still. He slowly lifted one hand and met the blow casually. Bang! A dull crash rang out. The flames sputtered out like snuffed candles. Mei Jibua felt as though his fist had smashed against steel plate. Bones in his knuckles cracked. Agony flooded through him. Before his scream could fully escape, Luo Chun's hand clamped around his neck. Such clumsy skills, yet you dare spout threats? Luo Chun spoke flatly. He tightened his grip and twisted. Crack! A crisp bone, snapping sound echoed. Mei Jibua's eyes bulged. His head lolled, and life left him. Luo Chun tossed the corpse aside. It crashed against the wall and slid down onto the floor. Suyu on the bed was terrified beyond reason. To her, Luo Chun looked like the god of death. She recognized him. No emotion, only icy killing intent resided in his gaze. Luo Chun. Tears streamed down Suyu's face. I was wrong in the past. I mocked you and took advantage of you. Spare my life. I will serve you faithfully, do anything you ask. She wept and pleaded desperately, begging for mercy. Luo Chen's expression remained unchanged. He found her pleas ridiculous. Your pleas come too late. Blade light flashed. Squelch. Su Yu's head rolled across the floor, her face still frozen with terror and unwillingness. The stench of blood instantly filled the room. Just then, hurried footsteps echoed down the corridor. Jibwa, what happened? Mei Pian's roar drew closer, and the door was kicked violently open an instant later. The head of the Mei family wore pajamas, his hair disheveled. The pressure of a layer, one martial king burst forth without restraint, causing the furniture in the room to creak and groan under its weight. When he saw his son's corpse on the ground, his eyes blazed with rage, bloodshot. You wretch! You will pay with your life. Mei Pian roared, throwing both fists forward. Two fire dragons howled toward Luo Chen, fire surging to fill nearly the entire room as the temperature plummeted upward. Blinded by grief-fueled fury, he struck with a killing blow, intent on burning his son's murderer to ashes. A layer one martial king? Do you truly think you can threaten me? Luo Chen sneered. Instead of dodging, he raised his hand and unleashed a spatial slash. SSSH, la. The shrill sound of tearing space drowned out the roar of the flames. A translucent spatial blade easily sliced through the two fire dragons, its momentum undiminished as it streaked straight for Mei Pian. What? Mei Pian's face paled. Sensing the lethal spatial power bearing down on him, he frantically tried to retreat and block. Yet his speed was far too slow before the spatial slash. Uft! The blade swept horizontally across his waist, cutting him clean in two. Viscera and blood spilled across the floor. Mei Pian's upper torso crashed to the ground. To his final breath, he could not believe that a martial king, ranked expert like himself, had been slain with a single strike. Madame Mei, who had rushed up behind him, let out a shrill scream upon witnessing the gory scene in the doorway. Luo Chen flicked another spatial blade without turning around. Thud! Madame Mei collapsed to the ground, dead on the spot. Luo Chen glanced over the wreckage strewn across the room. He had no interest in rummaging for valuables. Time was short. He had stirred up too much commotion, and the Martial Alliance forces would arrive soon. He casually set fire to the curtains and bed sheets. Flames spread quickly, devouring everything inside the chamber. With that, his figure flickered and vanished amid the raging blaze. After leaving the Mei family villa, Luo Chen had intended to head back to his hotel. Mid-flight, however, he suddenly thought of Zhou Jingde, principal of Jianghai No. 1 High School. That old man had condemned and expelled him without hearing him out, clearly favoring the Mei and Su families. He was hardly an upright man. Since I am already out, I might as well take care of him too. No need to let him linger and annoy me later. Luo Chen altered his course and sped toward the villa district where Zhou Jingde lived. Zhou Jingde's home was also a luxurious standalone villa, splendidly furnished, no less grand than the Mei residence. A mere high school principal could afford such an upscale property. It spoke volumes about how corrupt he was. He has amassed far too much ill-gotten wealth. It is time for him to atone for his sins in the afterlife. Luo Chen let out a scoff. Activating spatial blink, he appeared directly inside Zhou Jingde's bedroom. Zhou Jingde was fast asleep, snoring loudly. Stirred by the noise, he blinked groggily awake. But the moment he lifted his head, a flash of cold light sliced across his field of vision. Uft! His head rolled onto the floor, blood soaking through the pillow. Zhou Jingde never managed to utter a complete sentence before he died abruptly. You got off far too easily, dying so swiftly. Luo Chen wasted no time and turned to leave. The two crime scenes bore different killing methods. No one would connect the incidents, nor would anyone suspect a recently expelled student. When he returned to the hotel, he washed away the scent of blood and changed into fresh clothes. He then lay down and fell fast asleep. He had slain multiple people in a single night, yet felt not the slightest unease. In this high-power world, mercy toward one's enemies meant cruelty toward oneself. Those people had shown him no mercy when they had wronged him. The next morning, the whole of Jianghai City was thrown into turmoil. The Mei family villa had burned down, its inhabitants dead, their bodies charred beyond recognition. Zhou Jingde, principal of Jianghai No. 1 High School, had been beheaded in his own home. The two major cases broke out one after another. Martial law enforcement team members mobilized fully. They investigated all morning, yet found not a single suspect. Surveillance footage showed no suspicious figures. The whole affair defied all logic. None of this chaos troubled Luo Chen in the slightest. He ate breakfast unhurriedly, slipped on a sharp, fitting black battle outfit, stowed his 5th Order Black Mystic Battle Blade inside his spatial storage, and headed straight for the Jianghai City Martial Arts examination venue. The exam was held in the central square of the Municipal Martial Arts Stadium. Thousands of senior year examinees crowded the square, each nervous yet fired up. Tens of thousands of spectators filled the viewing stands. 8 massive virtual light screen displays stood at the front of the square, set to broadcast live footage from within the trial realm. Luo Chen blended into the line of examinees as chatter filled his ears. Have you heard? 5S ranked talents emerged from Jianghai City this year. The most outstanding is young Master Lin Hao of the Lin clan. He possesses S rank Thunder talent and has already reached Martial Master Layer 5. Wow, Martial Master Layer 5? That is absolutely monstrous. And he only awakened his talent a short while ago. The Lin clan has immense resources. They shower him with rare treasures. Of course, his progress is rapid. I've heard instructors from the Capital War God Academy have come specifically to recruit him. There is also Senior Zhao Shui. She has S rank Frost talent and stunning beauty, and she is already at Martial Master Layer 3. The students murmured in awe, brimming with envy. Luo Chen listened without the faintest reaction. Martial Master Layer 5? Before his Martial King Layer 6 strength, such opponents could not even withstand a single strike. They impressed only those who had never seen true power. His gaze drifted toward the VIP viewing platform. Seated at the center was Zhou Xiong, Lord of Jianghai City. His aura was heavy, and he possessed Martial King Layer 9 Cultivation, the most powerful public figure in Jianghai City. Luo Chen shot him a glance and silently assessed him. If it came to a fight, he could suppress him with spatial compression, follow up with spatial detonation, and finish with a spatial slash. 3 seconds would be enough to defeat the City Lord. Martial King Layer 9 was nothing extraordinary. Flanking the City Lord sat clan heads, Martial Alliance officials, and admissions instructors from more than a dozen martial academies. At their head was an instructor from the Capital War God Academy at Martial Emperor Layer 9. His gaze swept over the examinees below. Most candidates meant nothing to him. Only the 5S ranked geniuses merited his attention. Teachers from Jianghai No. 1 High School also occupied seats on the VIP platform. Their expressions were grim. Their principal had just died, and 2 of their top-tier talents had perished as well. Luo Chen paid them no mind. He had long since been expelled. He sat this exam as an independent candidate, with no ties to Jianghai No. 1 High School. His goal was clear: claim the provincial top score and gain admission to the Capital War God Academy. He would go to a larger city, earn greater wealth, and raise his power to even higher levels. A pity there is only a provincial top score, no national ranking. The rewards would surely be far greater otherwise, Luo Chen thought to himself. At that moment, a middle-aged man in a Martial Alliance uniform stepped forward atop the platform. His Martial King Layer 3 aura spread out, and the whole square fell silent at once. Silence. His voice boomed like a great bell, resounding across every corner of the square. I am Wang Feng, Chief Examiner for this year's Jianghai Martial Arts Examination. I shall now announce the exam rules. Everyone listen closely. First, the examination takes place within a Grade 1 trial realm for a time limit of 3 hours. First, to 4th Order Spirit Beasts roam the realm. Each order contains 9 tiers. Points are awarded for slaying Spirit Beasts according to the following rules. First Order Spirit Beasts, 1 point for Tier 1, plus 1 additional point for each higher tier. Second Order Spirit Beasts, 10 points for Tier 1, plus 10 additional points for each higher tier. Third Order Spirit Beasts, 100 points for Tier 1, plus 100 additional points for each higher tier. Fourth Order Spirit Beasts, 1,000 points for Tier 1, plus 1,000 additional points for each higher tier. Points sync in real time to each examinee's examination permit. Final rankings are determined by total points. Higher rankings grant higher admission priority and richer rewards. Second, during the examination, examinees are strictly forbidden from attacking one another, stealing points, or committing malicious harm. Anyone caught will have their examination qualification revoked. Severe violations will be handed over to the martial law enforcement team for legal punishment. Third, every examinee carries a Jade Distress Token. Shattering it triggers emergency teleportation out of the realm, yet counts as voluntary withdrawal, and all accumulated points will be erased. Very well. Now, line up according to examination permit numbers and enter the teleportation array one by one. As the words rang out, the examinees stirred. They filed toward the large circular teleportation array at the center. White light blazed time and again as candidates vanished one after another. Luo Chen stood near the rear of the queue. When his turn came, he stepped onto the teleportation array. A faint wave of dizziness washed over him. The next instant, His surroundings shifted completely. Lush primeval forest stretched out before him. Vegetation grew thick and wild. Distant low-roaring cries of spirit beasts echoed, and a faint smell of blood hung in the air. The martial arts examination had officially begun. Luo Chen landed steadily. He scanned his surroundings. Mostly low-rank first and second-order spirit beasts wandered about. There were no worthy opponents anywhere in sight. I was teleported to the outer zone. A waste of time. Luo Chen frowned. I only have 3 hours total. I cannot waste it on trivial foes. If I want to rack up points fast, I must head straight for the fourth-order spirit beast territory. Without further hesitation, he activated Spatial Blink. His figure vanished on the spot, rippling faintly through space as he sped deep into the realm. Spirit beasts along his path caught only a blur. Crushed by the sheer oppressive aura rolling off him, they cowered on the ground, too terrified to lift their heads. He had partially released his Martial King Layer 6 aura, and low-rank beasts dared not draw near. Outside the realm, the atmosphere in the square was electric. 8 large light screens displayed footage from different zones. Most camera feeds focused on the 5 S-rank geniuses. Lin Hao wielded a thunder battle blade. Lightning coiled around his blade as he cut down a Tier 7 second-order Gale Wolf. Cheers erupted from the spectator stands. Zhao Shui commanded Frost, freezing packs of first-order beasts with elegant gestures, also drawing loud applause. The 5 S-rank talents advanced rapidly into second-order territory. Their point totals climbed steadily, far outpacing every other examinee. Teachers in the stands smiled, especially the principal of Jianghai No. 2 High School, who could barely contain his delight. He glanced toward the vice principal of Jianghai No. 1 High School beside him and raised his voice deliberately. Why, Vice Principal Zhang? I heard your principal was murdered last night, beheaded. Your school has truly suffered misfortune. You have lost your principal and 2 A-rank talents. This year's martial arts exam may leave you at the bottom of the rankings. Vice Principal Zhang's face darkened. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Principal Wang, what is the meaning of this? Nothing at all. Merely observing. Principal Wang smiled, his words sharp. I also heard those 2 A-rank talents met their end while occupied with private leisure activities. Young people lack self-discipline even before such an important exam. Such fine A-rank talents wasted. Unlike our students at No. 2 High, our 2 S-rank youngsters have secluded themselves in hard training since awakening, practicing deep into every night. Truly outstanding. He paused briefly and glanced sideways at Vice Principal Zhang. Would you not agree, Vice Principal Zhang? Will you stop this? Vice Principal Zhang shot to his feet, shaking with rage. Do not push your luck. Am I speaking falsehoods? Principal Wang retorted, unyielding. Enough. Both of you be silent. Zhou Xiong, seated in the center, frowned and spoke in a heavy tone. Principal Wang fell sullenly quiet. He could taunt Vice Principal Zhang, but he dared not provoke the city lord, Jianghai's strongest warrior. Vice Principal Zhang sat back down with a cold huff, his expression still furious. Everyone on the VIP platform witnessed their petty conflict, and many watched on in quiet amusement. Time slipped by. More than 10 minutes had passed, yet Luo Chen's point total remained fixed at 0. No one paid him any attention. He was an independent candidate with no school backing. No cameras focused on him. Nobody cared about his 0-point nobody. All eyes stayed fixed on the 5 S-rank geniuses, whose points had climbed to several hundred, nearly 1,000. Voices of discussion filled the air. Lin Hao is incredible. He has already entered third-order territory. This year's S-rank talents are exceptional. Usually we are lucky to have one. To have 5 is unheard of. The city top scorer will surely come from among them. My money is on Lin Hao. Amid the heated chatter, the leaderboard jumped violently all of a sudden. The name, Luo Chen, previously stuck at the bottom with 0 points, shot straight to first place with an abrupt gain of 1,000 points. A hush fell over the crowd, followed by an uproar. What? What just happened? 1,000 points. Who is this Luo Chen? I have never heard of him. Is there a system glitch? 1,000 points equals a Tier 1 4th-order spirit beast. How could anyone slay a 4th-order beast right after entering the realm? This must be cheating. Shouts of shock and accusation exploded across the spectator stands. Before the crowd could finish arguing, the number on the leaderboard jumped again. 2,000, 4,000, 7,000. The score rocketed upward, surging by thousands of points every few minutes with no sign of slowing. Half an hour later, Luo Chen's point tally settled at 21,000. Lin Hao, in second place, had barely broken 800 points, not even a fraction of Luo Chen's total. Spectators outside shouted accusations of cheating and rigged results. Who would cheat so brazenly, inflating points by the 1,000? Exactly. He could at least pretend to be subtle. What shameless cheating. I am genuinely impressed by the audacity. Voices of protest swelled. This cannot be. Principal Wang leaped to his feet, staring at the numbers on the light screen in disbelief. This is cheating. The system must be malfunctioning. An unknown youth cannot possibly slay so many fourth-order spirit beasts. Vice Principal Zhang was equally stunned. He muttered under his breath, Luo Chun. The name sounds familiar. On the VIP platform, Zhou Xiong's expression turned grave. He ordered his secretary beside him, Secretary Jiang, investigate this examinee Luo Chun at once. Find out who he is. Also, switch the main camera feed to his location. I want to see if he truly possesses such power. Yes, my lord. Secretary Jiang quickly operated his devices. Seconds later, the largest light screen cut to Luo Chen's location deep within the realm. On screen, the young man in black held his black mystic battle blade, darting among the trees. A Tier 3 Fourth Order giant bear roared and charged toward him. He raised his blade and struck once. A translucent spatial blade tore through the beast's flesh, and its massive body crashed to the ground. One strike. A Tier 3 Fourth Order beast slain instantly. He shifted and reappeared behind another Fourth Order beast. His blade flashed, and another beast fell dead. Every movement was clean, decisive, without wasted motion. Complete silence descended over the venue. All those who had just shouted about cheating fell silent, staring blankly at the display. Good heavens, he really killed them himself. One-shot kills against Fourth-Order beasts? What level of cultivation could he possibly hold? A monster. An absolute monster. Louder shouts of amazement erupted from the stands. Every gaze locked onto the light screen. No one paid attention to the 5 S-rank geniuses any longer. Deep inside the trial realm, the 5 S-rank geniuses saw the updated rankings displayed on the wrist-mounted examination permits. Lin Hao cut down a Tier 2 third-order beast. Glancing at the leaderboard, his face turned ashen, twisted with rage. Luo Chun, where did this guy come from? 21,000 points? That is impossible. He ground his teeth, burning with resentment. I am Shanghai City's #1 genius. I deserve the city top score. Zhao Shui frowned deeply, thoroughly shocked. She knew her own talent stood among the best, yet compared to Luo Chun, the gap felt hopelessly vast. The remaining 3 S-rank examinees also halted their actions. From the VIP seats, Secretary Jiang hurried over to Zhou Xiong and handed over a file, lowering his voice. City Lord, we found information. Please take a look. Zhou Xiong took the file and skimmed through it quickly, his pupils slightly contracting. The file laid everything out clearly. Luo Chun, orphaned after his parents' deaths, raised on survivor's pension. Awakened F-rank space-type talent at 18. On the day of awakening, he publicly beat 2 A-rank geniuses and was expelled from school by Principal Zhou Jingda. That same day, he sold his old town house for 300,000 Blue Star coins. He ventured outside the city and returned overnight, selling 100 second-order beast cores. The next day, he headed out again, coming back 5 days later with hundreds of third-order beast cores for sale, including one from a third-order 9th-layer saber-toothed tiger. How can any of these things line up with an F-rank talent? F-rank talent. A faint amused smile tugged at Zhou Xiong's lips. Interesting. Less than 10 days after awakening, he can slay 4th-order spirit beasts. This kid hides his true strength well. He must have obtained an extraordinary great opportunity. Secretary Jiang lowered his voice further. City Lord, there is one more matter. Mei Pian's family of 3, Su Yu, and Zhou Jingda all died on the very night Luo Chun returned to the city. Every single one of them had conflicts with Luo Chun. Could he have something to do with their deaths? Zhou Xiong waved a hand, his tone calm. Do not speak without evidence. How could a mere student pull off something like that, Secretary Jiang? His eyes were deep, yet his mind was crystal clear. There were no such coincidences in this world. But so what? The Mei clan was only a third-rate family, and Zhou Jingda was hardly a good man. A monstrous genius capable of slaying 4th-order spirit beasts beyond his rank was far more valuable than a handful of corpses. Dismissed. Give the order. This matter ends here. Zhou Xiong said indifferently. He is Shanghai City's treasure, worth more than those 5 S-rank talents combined. We must not alienate such a genius. Once the assessment concludes, I will meet him in person. Secretary Jiang understood at once. Yes, City Lord. He bowed and withdrew. At that moment, a sharp-tempered middle-aged man walked up to Zhou Xiong and let out a hearty laugh. Lord Zhou, congratulations. Shanghai City has hidden extraordinary talents this year. Not only 5 S-rank awakeners, but such a peerless monster has also emerged. The provincial top scorer is assured. This man was Li Changge, admissions tutor of Kyoto God of War Academy, with cultivation at Martial Emperor 9th layer. Zhou Xiong cupped his hands with a smile. Tutorly, you flatter me. These are talents for the Dragon Nation. No, we cannot see it that way. Li Chang's gaze locked firmly onto Luo Chun displayed on the light screen, admiration filling his eyes. This boy is mine. Space-type talent combined with decisive fighting instincts. He is a natural God of War candidate. With combat prowess like his, our God of War Academy will take him for certain. He paused, glancing at the other Academy tutors who were growing restless, and let out a cold snort. I advise all of you not to waste your efforts. This youth is not up for you to compete over. The dozen-plus admissions tutors from other academies turned pale and flushed by turns, yet none dared to retort. Li Chang'e possessed formidable strength and a fiery temper. In past years of competing for recruits, he had beaten several rival tutors badly. He was notoriously protective of his favorites and overbearing. If a real fight broke out, all of them together would still be no match for him. On the light screen footage, Luo Chun pressed deeper into the zone, his points soaring higher and higher. Suddenly, a deafening beast roar echoed in the distance. It came from a 4th order, 9th layer spirit beast. The spectator stands erupted instantly. Good heavens! 4th order, 9th layer. That existence rivals Martial King 9th layer. Luo Chun is heading straight for it. Has he lost his mind? He already has first place locked in. Why take such risks? That's reckless. A 4th order 9th layer beast is nothing like the weak foes he fought before. Everyone held their breath, eyes glued to the screen. With several spatial flashes, Luo Chun landed in an open clearing. Perched atop a boulder ahead lay a pitch-black spotted leopard. It had a slender build, bared fangs, and cold vertical pupils fixed on Luo Chun. Low, threatening growls rumbled in its throat, as if roaring. What insignificant pest dares disturb my rest? Perfect. You will serve as my practice opponent. Luo Chun wore a blank expression. Without moving his feet, he activated his power with a thought. Space compression. Space around the spotted leopard abruptly contracted. Invisible immense force pressed in from all directions. The beast let out an enraged roar. Its limbs strained desperately, muscles tensed to the limit, yet it could not move an inch, trapped where it stood snarling. Space burst. Luo Chun pointed a finger. Boom. The space where the spotted leopard stood shattered in an instant. Violent spatial turbulence raged. Countless deep, bone-deep gashes tore open across the leopard's body. Its miserable cries rang through the mountain forest. Badly wounded, it could no longer stand steadily. It is over. Luo Chun flickered through space and appeared beside the spotted leopard. He raised his battle high, pouring spatial power into the blade. Space slash. Slish. A nearly tangible spatial blade sliced through the air. The spotted leopard's head soared upward, blood gushing out. Its massive body crashed to the ground, lifeless. Points plus 9,000. Luo Chun's total points jumped immediately to 41,000. Dead silence hung over the venue for 2 seconds, followed by thunderous cheers. 3 moves. He defeated a 4th order 9th layer spotted leopard in only 3 moves. My God, that is utterly ferocious. Luo Chun. Luo Chun. Luo Chun is amazing. Luo Chun, you are incredible. The spectator stands boiled over. Countless spectators chanted Luo Chun's name, and the atmosphere reached its peak. Li Chang'e clapped his hands, overjoyed. Excellent. Brilliant young man. His mastery of spatial skills is consummate. This cannot possibly be F-rank talent. Even an S-rank space-type talent at his cultivation level could hardly unleash such power. Fascinating, truly fascinating. Zhou Xiong nodded slightly, his appreciation deepening. Vice Principal Zhang and other staff from Jianghai No. 1 High School burned with shame, unable to lift their heads. When Luo Chun had been expelled, no one in the school had spoken up for him. Everyone had written him off as useless. But now, he was an unmatched, peerless genius, guaranteed entry into Kyoto God of War Academy. A top-scorer candidate of this caliber had been cast away by their own hands. Thinking of this, Vice Principal Zhang was consumed with regret, wishing he could slap himself. Time flew by. 3 hours of assessment time drew rapidly to a close. Luo Chun's final points settled at 72,000, far outstripping all competitors. Lin Hao, who had given everything he had, only reached 4,520 points, not even a fraction of Luo Chun's total. Zhao Shui took 3rd place with 4,260 points. The remaining S-rank examinees hovered around 3,500 points. The gap was despairingly huge. Ding. Assessment time concluded. All examinees will be teleported out immediately. A mechanical prompt echoed across the secret realm. Bright white lights flickered one after another as examinees were teleported back to the plaza. Most examinees were covered in wounds, gasping for breath. Some collapsed directly onto the ground in a sorry state. Lin Hao, Zhao Shui, and the others also bore injuries, their faces pale, clearly having exhausted every ounce of strength. Only Luo Chun stood calmly among the crowd. His black training outfit remained spotless, not a single strand of his hair out of place. He stood out conspicuously. Chief Examiner Wang Feng stepped onto the high platform, his voice resounding. First of all, congratulations to every examinee for completing this martial arts college entrance examination. I shall now announce the final rankings. 10th place, 3rd place, Zhao Shui for 1,260 points. 2nd place, Lin Hao for 1,520 points. 1st place, Luo Chun, 72,000 points. Winner of this year's Jianghai City Martial Arts Exam top scorer title, and also the top scorer for Jiangnan Province. As his voice fell, thunderous applause and cheers shook the venue. Lin Hao hung his head, his fists clenched white. He was filled with bitter frustration, yet utterly powerless. The gap was so vast it extinguished any thought of catching up. After rankings were announced, examinees began to leave one by one. The moment Luo Chun turned around, he saw Zhou Xiong walking toward him with his secretary, wearing a smile. Student Luo Chun, congratulations on claiming both top scorer titles and bringing glory to Jianghai City. Zhou Xiong's attitude was exceptionally courteous, setting aside all the dignity of a city lord. He knew full well that techniques like space compression and space burst could very well overwhelm even himself. He held out a black card, a set of keys, and a property deed. I am Zhou Xiong, City Lord of Jianghai City. This card holds 5 million Blue Star coins, together with a detached villa in the city center. These are municipal rewards for the top scorer. You must accept them. His words sounded official, yet the official reward for the top scorer was merely 1 million Blue Star coins. The remaining 4 million coins and the villa came entirely from his own private funds. Having learned during his investigation that Luo Chun had sold his old house, Zhou Xiong decided to gift him a new residence. This way he could win over this monstrous genius while keeping everything above board. Luo Chun did not stand on ceremony. He accepted the items and said calmly, "Thank you, Lord City Lord. No need to thank me. You have earned every bit of it." Zhou Xiong smiled warmly. "If you require anything in the future, you may come find me at any time." As they spoke, Li Chang'e strode over and got straight to the point. "Luo Chun, I am Li Chang'e, admissions tutor for Kyoto God of War Academy. I am here today to sincerely invite you to join our academy. Let me lay out the terms. 4-year tuition fully waived. You receive 100,000 academy points upon enrollment, a 6th-order battle blade, and your own detached villa. Furthermore, our vice principal is a space-type powerhouse. She will personally guide your cultivation." He paused and gestured toward the group of tutors in the VIP stands with a grin. "Do not waste time considering other academies. I have fought with those tutors before. None of them dare compete against me for you." Luo Chun glanced in the direction Li Chang'e pointed. Sure enough, the dozen tutors kept their heads down, seething yet helpless. The corners of Luo Chun's mouth twitched. This tutor was truly domineering, but academy points were useless to him. His pay-to-win system required Blue Star coins. Just as he was about to reply, the system voice echoed inside his mind. Ding! Academy points detected. May be exchanged for vitality at a ratio of 1 to 1,000. 100,000 points can be exchanged for 100 million vitality. Luo Chun's eyes lit up instantly. 100 million vitality. That was exactly enough to raise his talent rank from A rank to S rank. It was like receiving a pillow just as he felt sleepy. He nodded at once. "Very well. I will join God of War Academy." "Haha, I knew you had good judgment." Li Chang'e clapped him on the shoulder in delight. "Enrollment is 5 days from now. Report to the academy then. By the way, there will be a freshman grand tournament. First prize is 10,000 academy points. You ought to take part. Do not let someone else claim that reward. 10,000 points." Luo Chun's heart stirred. "I will participate." 10,000 points equaled 10 million vitality. There was no reason to pass that up. Li Chang'e gave him a few more notes about enrollment arrangements before hurrying off to report back to the academy. After seeing them depart, Luo Chun did not linger. He hailed a taxi and headed straight for his new downtown villa. The villa enjoyed an excellent location, a private standalone property with complete furnishings. Luo Chun toured the rooms and was satisfied. He washed away the dust of travel and sat down on the living room sofa. He focused his thoughts. System, recharge all 5 million Blue Star coins. Ding. Recharge complete. 5 million blue star coins converted into 5 million vitality points. Current total vitality, 10,174,700 points. Raise my cultivation to Martial King 7th layer. Ding. Consuming 7 million vitality points. Cultivation elevated to Martial King 7th layer. Remaining vitality, 3174_700 points. Powerful warm currents surged through his whole body. His meridians broadened further, his vital essence grew more condensed, and his aura nearly doubled in strength. Luo Chun clenched his fist, feeling the surging power within him, a faint smile forming on his lips. Martial King 7th layer. He was one step closer to the Martial Emperor realm. He focused his mind, and his full system panel materialized before his eyes. Host, Luo Chun. Cultivation, Martial King 7th layer. Talent, A rank space storage capacity, 10,000 cubic meters. Mastered combat arts, space slash, space compression, space flash, space burst. Vitality points, 3,174,700. Assets held, 1 million blue star coins. For the next few days, Luo Chun stayed inside his downtown villa. He consolidated his cultivation and familiarized himself with the power of Martial King 7th layer. As enrollment day drew near, he set off for the high-speed rail station. The journey from Jianghai City to Kyoto was long. Even the fastest spirit-powered high-speed train took a full day and night. Luo Chun bought a business-class ticket. Leaning back against his seat, he closed his eyes to rest while thinking things over. Upon enrollment, I received 100,000 academy points. At a 1:1,000 conversion rate, that equals 100 million vitality. Exactly enough to upgrade my space-type talent from A rank to S rank. Luo Chun tapped his fingertips lightly against the armrest, anticipation flickering in his eyes. Every talent rank up unlocks new abilities. I wonder what powerful skills S rank will grant. The high-speed train raced onward. Scenery outside shifted from towns to wilderness, then back to bustling metropolises. By the evening of the second day, the train slowly pulled into Kyoto Station. Luo Chun followed the crowd out of the station. Outside, traffic flowed endlessly amid towering skyscrapers. Kyoto was vastly more prosperous than Jianghai City, and spiritual energy in the air was noticeably denser. He hailed a spirit-powered taxi and gave the address for Kyoto God of War Academy. When the driver learned he was a student heading there, his attitude turned warm. He chattered nonstop about the academy's legendary history, and Luo Chun responded with occasional nods. Half an hour later, the taxi pulled up before the academy's main gate. Luo Chun stepped out and looked upward, genuine amazement crossing his face. The gate stood dozens of meters tall, carved all over with intricate spirit runes that radiated imposing pressure. Centered above the entrance, the four characters God of War Academy exuded sharp killing intent. Crowds flowed through the gate, mostly newly arriving freshmen. Every one of them possessed respectable power, none weaker than Martial Master Realm. Talented individuals gathered here in numbers far beyond anything seen in Jianghai City. Luo Chun pulled out his phone and dialed Li Chang's number. Tutorly, this is Luo Chun. I have arrived at the academy gate. Good lad, you made good time. Wait right there, I will come at once. Li Chang's booming voice came over the line, full of energy. Within minutes, a figure hurried out from within the academy. Li Chang'e strode forward and waved. Luo Chun, over here. Luo Chun walked to meet him and gave a slight nod. Tutorly, come with me, let us head inside. Li Chang'e clapped him on the shoulder and led him through the gate, explaining along the way. God of War Academy is Dragon Nation's top martial arts institute. Its grounds are immense and divided into multiple zones. This area ahead is the freshman residential quarter. Further inward lie the training grounds, mission hall, scripture repository, weapon vault, and teaching buildings. Deepest inside are the tutors' villas. To earn and spend academy points, take missions at the mission hall and trade zone. If you wish to study combat arts and techniques, go to the scripture repository, though its finest resources cost academy points to unlock. Li Chang'e explained everything in thorough detail, and Luo Chun committed the information to memory. As they walked, many students greeted Li Chang'e. It was clear this admissions tutor held great renown within the academy. After walking for roughly 10 minutes, they reached an elegant gated villa district steeped in rich spiritual energy. Here we are. These villas are reserved for specially admitted students. Each is private, fitted with spirit-gathering formations and dedicated training chambers, far superior to ordinary student dormitories. Li Chang'e stopped before one villa and handed over a key. Number 1, your residence. Keep the key. Everything inside is fully furnished. You can move in straight away. Luo Chun accepted the key, pushed open the door, and glanced around. It was a three-story Western-style building with spacious living rooms, bright bedrooms, and an underground training chamber lined with spirit-gathering runes. Spiritual energy there was several times denser than outside. This is excellent. Thank you, Tutor Li. No need for formalities. Li Chang'e waved a hand. Come. First we will collect your academy points and battle blade. After that I will take you to meet the vice principal. Let me tell you, Vice Principal Han is a legendary figure of our academy. When speaking of Vice Principal Han, Li Chang'e's tone was filled with reverence. SSS rank space-type talent. Martial Emperor 9th layer cultivation. Only one step away from Martial God realm. Most remarkably, she is not yet 30 years old. Dragon Nation's youngest Martial Emperor, and among Blue Star's most powerful space-type experts. A Martial Emperor 9th layer under 30? Surprise stirred within Luo Chun. He himself had reached Martial King 7th layer less than 10 days after awakening. He had thought his progress was extraordinary, yet there existed an even more monstrous talent. Absolutely. Li Chang'e said proudly. Vice Principal Han also won the Freshman Grand Tournament in her day, sweeping all opponents. She broke through to Martial Emperor at 23. No one has ever broken that record. For her to grant you an audience is a great opportunity. Make the most of it. They left the Villa District and headed first for the Points Hall. The Points Hall was an ancient-style great hall with many service windows, handling student point registration and exchanges. Seated behind one window was a young woman in academy uniform, third-year senior student Xueqin. Seeing Li Chang'e enter, Xueqin quickly stood and bowed respectfully. Tutor Li, assign this junior Luo Chun his student token. Special admission freshman, preloaded with 100,000 academy points. Li Chang'e gestured toward Luo Chun. Xueqin froze in shock and looked up at Luo Chun. 100,000 academy points? Ordinary freshmen received at most a few thousand points upon enrollment. Even specially recruited S-rank geniuses received no more than 20,000. This unfamiliar new student was given 100,000? Though stunned, she worked quickly. She entered the information and soon handed over a black token with both hands. Junior Luo Chun, this is your student token. It serves for identity verification and point consumption. 100,000 points have already been deposited. Please keep it safe. Thank you, senior sister. Luo Chun took the token, engraved with his name and student ID. With a thought, he stored it inside his spatial storage. After collecting his points, they proceeded to the weapon vault. The weapon vault was enormous. Rows of shelves held countless weapons ranging from 3rd order to 6th order grade. The vault tutor cross-checked his records, retrieved a long silvery gray battle blade, and handed it over. 6th order rending sky battle blade. Give it a try. Luo Chun took hold of it. The blade carried substantial weight, its edge razor-sharp. He swung it a couple times. Blade wind tore through the air with sharp hisses. It was vastly superior to his old 5th order black mystic battle blade. It will serve well. He nodded in satisfaction and stowed the blade within his space. All your supplies are collected. Now, let us go see Vice Principal Han. Li Chang'e led him toward the tutor's villa zone deep within the academy. The further they went, the thicker the spiritual energy grew and the grander the villas became. They halted before a lakeside private villa at the very back of the zone. Li Chang'e smoothed his clothes, bowed slightly toward the courtyard gate, and spoke clearly. Vice Principal Han, Luo Chun has arrived. You may withdraw. A cool, melodious voice drifted out from within, soft yet perfectly audible to both of them. Understood. Li Chang'e replied, then lowered his voice to Luo Chun. Go inside. Stay natural. With that, he turned and departed. Just as Luo Chun lifted his foot, space rippled faintly before him. In the next instant, a figure appeared directly in front of him. The woman wore a plain white long dress. Her figure was slender, and her beauty was almost otherworldly. Her eyebrows resembled distant dark mountains, her eyes cold and bright stars, her skin fair as snow. Her long black hair was simply tied back. Faint spatial ripples swirled around her. Though she stood right before him, she gave the impression of being infinitely far away. She appeared to be in her early 20s, her bearing cold and ethereal, her gaze calm and unperturbed. This was God of War Academy's vice principal, Han Mingnan. Luo Chen's heart stirred. A Martial Emperor 9th layer expert was truly unfathomable. Even standing face to face, she seemed to merge with surrounding space, making it impossible to lock onto her presence. Luo Chun, a fine name. Han Mingnan's voice was light. Her gaze swept over him, examining him without exerting oppressive pressure. Come in. She pushed open the courtyard gate and drifted inside as if teleporting. Luo Chun followed her in. The villa's interior was simple and elegant, free of excessive luxury. Every detail embodied the principles of spatial arts. The short walk across the yard felt like passing through multiple layers of space. Sit. Do not be constrained. Han Mingnan sat down on a sofa and gestured toward the opposite seat. Luo Chen sat upright, neither overly deferential nor arrogant. Tutor Li Chang'e has likely told you I am also a space-type talent. Han Mingnan looked straight at him. I have watched footage of your martial arts exam. Your spatial power application is somewhat unrefined, yet it carries tremendous force and sound fundamentals. Your talent is not merely the publicly recorded F rank, is it? Her tone was affirmative rather than questioning. Luo Chen's thoughts shifted. He offered no direct explanation, only answering calmly. Everyone has their own secrets. Well said. A faint smile tugged at Han Mingnan's lips. Everyone keeps secrets. I have mine as well. She paused and met his eyes directly. Your natural gifts and temperament are both excellent. I ask you, would you accept me as your master? Luo Chen was taken aback. He had expected nothing more than some casual guidance, not a formal master-disciple bond. Since arriving in this world, he had fought alone, endured mockery, and relied entirely on himself. To be offered mentorship by a peak-powered martial emperor ninth-layer expert moved him deeply. He did not hesitate. He stood at once, bowed deeply toward Han Mingnan, and spoke solemnly. Master, please accept me as your disciple. Good. Han Mingnan gave a slight nod. A touch of warmth softened her cold features. From this day onward, you are my disciple, Luo Chen. Less than 10 days following your awakening, you can slay fourth-order peak spirit beasts. No one else across the Dragon Nation has achieved such a feat. Even I, at your age, could not accomplish what you have. Her tone remained calm, yet undisguised admiration shone through. You surpass my expectations. Speaking, she flipped her delicate hand, and 3 ancient secret manuals appeared in her palm, pushing them in front of Luo Chen. These 2 are spatial martial arts I created myself. Take them and practice first. Once you master them, come to me anytime if you have questions. Luo Chen looked down and saw the titles printed on the covers of the 2 manuals. The first one, Space Moon Step, a movement-type martial art. It augments footsteps with spatial power, enabling successive short-range teleportation. Its figure drifts unpredictably, suitable for both evasion and surprise assaults. Its consumption is far lower than Space Flash. When perfected, every step becomes a teleport, making one's trace nearly impossible to lock down. The second one, Space Blade Rain, an area of effect offensive martial art. It condenses countless tiny spatial blades to unleash blanket strikes, dense and hard to guard against. It works exceptionally well against hordes of alien beasts and encirclement attacks. Thank you, Master. Luo Chen put the 2 manuals away, filled with gratitude. Right now, he only possessed 4 innate skills granted by the system. With these 2 original martial arts, his combat options had expanded greatly. Martial arts are only aids. One's foundation is what truly matters, Han Mingnan warned. Your spatial power holds enormous potential. Do not merely chase higher cultivation levels. Your comprehension of spatial laws must keep pace as well. I understand, Master. Han Mingnan looked at him, her tone suddenly carrying the domineering protectiveness of a mentor. Furthermore, now that you are my disciple, no one may bully you. Go ahead and act boldly in whatever you encounter. As long as you are in the right, even if you fight to the death or wipe out an entire clan, I will bear all consequences for you. If you cannot win, just come back and call for me. I will eliminate them for you. Those words surged into Luo Chen's heart like a warm current. Ever since he transmigrated, he had faced nothing but jeers and mortal threats, always bearing everything alone. This was the first time someone stood before him and told him, I will take responsibility for whatever happens. An orphan in his past life and orphaned again in this one, he had long grown accustomed to solitude. Yet this domineering display of protection made his nose tingle, touching the softest part within him. He suppressed his surging emotions. His voice was steady yet carried a hint of solemnity barely perceptible. I understand, Master. Han Mingnan noticed his tense jawline and slightly reddened ear tips. She knew what he felt but said nothing about it, speaking calmly instead. You may leave now. Familiarize yourself with your surroundings and train hard. The freshman grand tournament is approaching. Do not disgrace me. Yes, Master. I shall take my leave. Luo Chen bowed respectfully, turned, and exited the villa. Watching the youth's tall yet slightly slender figure vanish beyond the courtyard gate, Han Mingnan stood rooted to the spot and whispered to herself. He hides his emotions well, yet he could not quite hold it back. Did my words make you feel protected? Subjected to unfair treatment since childhood, scrambling through hardships all by yourself. Though you seem hardened, deep down you harbor pent. up frustration and lack a sense of backing. She sighed softly, tenderness flickering across her eyes. Rest assured, now that you are under my wing, no one shall dare mistreat you casually. After parting from Han Mingnan, Luo Chun returned to Villa Number 1. Without delay, he walked straight to the underground training chamber and closed the door behind him. With a thought, the two ancient manuals floated out of his spatial storage and hovered in mid-air. Space Moon Step and Space Blade Ring, bestowed by his master Han Mingnan. System, raise these two martial arts directly to Perfection Realm. Luo Chun voiced the command in his mind. The next instant, successive system alerts echoed inside his head. Ding. Consumed 10,000 blood chi points. Space Moon Step reached Novice. Ding. Consumed 20,000 blood chi points. Space Moon Step reached Proficient. Ding. Consumed 50,000 blood chi points. Space Moon Step reached Mastered. Ding. Consumed 100,000 blood chi points. Space Moon Step reached Perfection. Ding. Consumed 10,000 blood chi points. Space Blade Rain reached Novice. Ding. Consumed 20,000 blood chi points. Space Blade Rain reached Proficient. Ding. Consumed 50,000 blood chi points. Space Blade Rain reached Mastered. Ding. Consumed 100,000 blood chi points. Space Blade Rain reached Perfection. Once the system notifications ended, two distinct streams of insight flooded Luo Chen's mind. All the subtle secrets of Space Moon Step branded themselves into his instincts. How each footstep tugged at spatial folds, how to leverage teleportation, how to minimize spiritual energy consumption. Likewise, he fully grasped the techniques behind Space Blade Ring, how to arrange countless spatial blades and unleash their maximum area of effect destructive power. Truly exquisite. Luo Chen's eyes glinted. He lightly stamped his foot. Whoosh. His figure vanished on the spot, reappearing like a phantom at the opposite end of the training chamber. There was no violent spatial turbulence, not even the faintest rush of wind. Compared to his crude earlier space flash, Space Moon Step consumed less than 1/10 of the energy and allowed far more fluid consecutive uses. It was perfect for close, quarters combat, evasion, and surprise attacks. Right after that, he waved a hand gently toward the black, iron testing barrier in the corner of the chamber. Space Blade Ring. Silently, hundreds of thin transparent spatial blades blanketed a 10-meter radius, pouring down like raindrops onto the barrier. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. After a burst of fine hissing noises, dense tiny holes covered the sturdy black, iron barrier, some reaching half a finger's depth. Impressive area of effect destructive power. Luo Chen nodded slightly. Against swarms of alien beasts, this skill would reap foes rapidly. It differed greatly from Spatial Burst. Spatial Burst delivered high explosion damage over a small remote area. Space Blade Rain, by contrast, dealt mid to long, range-wide area damage. Though its single target damage fell short of Spatial Burst, it excelled perfectly at group combat. With both martial arts perfected, his overall combat strength had risen substantially. Luo Chun summoned his complete system panel with a thought. Host, Luo Chun. Cultivation, King Warrior's 7th layer. Talent. A. Rank Spatial Storage Space. 10,000 cubic meters. Learn Martial Arts. Space Slash, Space Compression, Space Flash, Spatial Burst, Space Moonstep Perfection, Space Blade Rain Perfection. Blood, Chi Points. 2. 814, 700. Assets held. 1 million Blue Star Coins. Academy Credits. 100,000. Luo Chun glanced over it and pulled his focus back. Having trained for most of the day, hunger gnawed at his stomach. He changed into clean casual robes and headed straight for the Academy cafeteria. The War God Academy cafeteria was immense, spanning 3 floors. It sold spirit, infused meals ranging from 1st rank to 5th rank, priced from several credits up to over 100 credits. It was meal hour. The hall bustled with people, mostly newly arrived freshmen. Luo Chun walked up to a service counter and ordered a set meal of 3rd rank spirit rice, paired with Gale wolf meat. 10 credits were deducted upon swiping his badge. Ding. Deducted 10 Academy credits. Remaining Academy credits, 99,990. He carried his tray to a window, side seat, and took a couple of bites. Nearby, several boys chatted loudly about tomorrow's freshman grand tournament, their voices loud enough to be heard across half the cafeteria. Have you heard? This year's freshman cohort has 7 SSS, ranked talent prodigies. A once-in-a-100 years golden generation. Everyone knows that. Let me tell you, I've got all 7 figured out. First is Xiao Xingtian, SSS, rank Tyrant body talent. He's already Warrior 9th layer. Rumor says one punch can shatter the skull of a 9th layer 3rd, rank Alien Beast. Close, quarters body, refiner combat is nearly unrivaled among peers. He's the heavy favorite for the championship. And Tion, SSS, rank Thunder talent, Warrior 8th layer. His speed is absurd, explosive power maxed out. Word is his full, power strike can pierce the defenses of a Warrior 9th layer warrior. Ling Xuer is terrifying too. SSS, rank Ice, Snow talent, incredible area, control. She can fight crowds single-handedly, and she's breathtakingly beautiful, a true goddess. Then there's Yi Qingcheng, SSS, rank Life talent. She can both fight and heal, a mobile healing hub that every team scrambles to recruit. Wang Teng's golden battle body is no slouch either. His defense surpasses even Xiao Xingtian's. Few peers can break through his armor. Zhao Linger is a mental manipulator with SSS, rank Spirit talent. She attacks remotely, killing unseen from afar. She is extremely tricky to deal with. Last is Sun Hao, SSS, rank Giant Strength talent, Warrior 8th layer. Brute force beyond measure. He can reportedly tear apart 9th layer 3rd, rank Alien Beast bare-handed. The champion will definitely come from these 7. Everyone else is just here to make up the numbers. The boys chattered excitedly, full of admiration for the 7 SSS, ranked geniuses. Sitting beside them, Luo Chen ate unhurriedly and silently agreed in his mind. Warrior 8th and 9th layer, achieved in less than half a month with treasures feeding their progress, they were genuine talents. In Jianghai City, they would walk unchallenged. He had originally planned to convert all 100,000 entry gift credits into blood chi points, but he reconsidered. Academy living expenses, pills, and weapons all required credits. Converting everything would leave him unable even to afford meals, which would be far too troublesome. Better keep some for daily use. The first place prize for tomorrow's tournament is 10,000 credits. I can convert those after I win, Luo Chen thought to himself. 10,000 credits equaled 10 million blood chi points. Not an enormous amount, but better than nothing. After finishing his meal, he wandered nowhere and returned to his villa. Inside the training chamber, he practiced combinations of his 2 new perfected martial arts repeatedly. He refined his familiarity with their mastered forms and devised several combat sequences. He trained deep into the night before washing up and sleeping. Nothing noteworthy happened overnight. Early the next morning, the Academy Square was already thronged with people. 10 massive blue, stone arenas stood neatly in the square's center. Beside each arena stood a referee teacher at the Emperor Warrior realm, with steady, imposing auras. Spectators packed the surrounding stands. All 100 freshmen of this intake, plus many upper-classmen who had come to watch, eager to see just how capable this so-called golden generation truly was. The freshman grand tournament adopted a single elimination format. 100 competitors fought pair by pair. Winners advanced, losers were eliminated, until the final champion was decided. The champion would receive 10,000 credits as a reward. Luo Chen squeezed within the crowd, listening to the surrounding buzz and yawning out of boredom. Watching the Warrior realm freshmen clash violently on stage, martial arts flaring everywhere, he felt as though he was watching chicks pecking at each other. It failed to spark any interest. What if I just jump up and take on all 100 of them alone? Finish it quickly and save time. A thought crossed Luo Chen's mind. He shook his head right after. No, drawing too much attention will invite trouble. I will calmly claim first place. Soon, the match groups appeared on the huge floating light screen above the square. Luo Chen's first match was scheduled for Arena 3. Arena 3, Luo Chen versus Zhou Ming. At the referee's call, a boy leaped onto the arena with crisp movements. He looked at Luo Chen strolling up opposite him, a haughty smile spreading across his face. Zhou Ming possessed rank flame talent and cultivated at Warrior 4th layer, a fairly prominent figure among freshmen. He thought highly of his own strength. He folded his arms and looked down at Luo Chen with arrogant tones. I know who you are, the special admission student. I suggest you surrender voluntarily right now. Otherwise, my attacks might grow reckless and burn you badly. My rank blazing flame talent burns extremely hot. Getting touched by it is no trivial matter. Do not say I did not warn you if you end up disfigured. Luo Chen lifted his eyelids slightly and replied flatly, too much talk. Fight if you are going to fight. Do not waste my time. Bold brat. Zhou Ming flew into a rage. He channeled spiritual energy within his body, and blazing flames erupted over his right fist. The heat distorted the surrounding air. Since you seek death, I shall grant your wish. Take this, blazing fist. He pushed off the ground, charging toward Luo Chun like a fireball, his fist carrying scorching heat aimed straight for Luo Chun's forehead. His momentum looked formidable. Many spectators below gasped, certain Luo Chun was about to suffer badly, having drawn such a fierce opponent right away. Yet Luo Chun stood completely still. Just as the flaming fist was about to strike his face, Luo Chun casually lifted his right hand and swatted outward. Slap. It was as if he were swatting away a fly, a light casual palm strike. Boom. Zhou Ming was sent flying backward, spinning through the air multiple times before crashing heavily outside the arena. A clear palm-shaped mark was branded across his face. The flames on his fist had long died out. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. He lay dazed on the ground, unable to figure out how he had been knocked away. For several seconds the whole venue fell silent, then erupted in commotion. What? One palm strike sent him flying. Zhou Ming is warrior 4th layer. How could he be that weak? Who even is this Luo Chun? That is terrifying. He did not even unleash a martial art. The referee teacher froze briefly before recovering his senses and calling out loudly, Luo Chun wins. Advances to the next round. Luo Chun brushed off his hands and walked off the arena as if nothing had happened, his breathing perfectly steady. The following matches held no suspense whatsoever. His second opponent bore SS, rank Gale talent. Convinced his speed was unmatched, he boasted on stage that Luo Chun would not even graze the hem of his robes. Luo Chun simply stood in the middle of the arena and let the man dart around for over 10 seconds without landing a single hit. The opponent soon gasped for breath from exhaustion. Growing impatient, Luo Chun flicked a finger, sending a faint surge of energy that knocked the man's sprawling face first onto the ground. Third match, fourth match. Luo Chun steamrolled forward. He never once deployed spatial abilities and barely expended spiritual energy. Relying solely on his king, warrior, realm physical power, he knocked each successive opponent off the arena platform. Top 50, top 25, top 13. He advanced at a frightening pace. Every bout lasted less than 10 seconds. He stepped off the arena to rest each time, not even breaking a sweat. The spectators in the square were utterly astounded. What cultivation level is Luo Chun even at? This is absurd. Charging all the way to top 13 without using any martial arts, just pure physical blows. Is this even human? I checked the freshman register. No talent rating is listed for him. Could he be a hidden SSS, rank genius? That cannot be. We all know the 7 SSS, rank prodigies, and he is not among them. This is uncanny. Could some ancient monster have reverted to youth to bully freshmen? Whispers swelled louder and louder. More and more eyes locked onto Luo Chun. Spectators who had originally focused on the 7 SSS, rank prodigies now flocked toward Luo Chun's arena, eager to witness just how powerful this dark horse really was. Meanwhile, the remaining 12 competitors included 6 SSS, rank prodigies, all advancing without difficulty. Xiao Xingtian activated his tyrant body. He weathered his foe's full power assault without flinching and sent his opponent flying off the stage with one punch, displaying overwhelming dominance. Tian crackled with lightning. Enemies could not even track his figure before being stunned and collapsing, his speed astonishing. Ling Xueter summoned sheets of freezing mist, encasing her rivals in ice and shoving them off the platform. Her crowd control abilities supreme. Among the 7 SSS ranked talents, only Sun Hao drew bad luck, matched against Xiao Xingtian. They traded blows for more than a dozen exchanges until Sun Hao exhausted his strength and was punched off the arena, stopping at top 13. Thus, the grand tournament's top 7 were decided. Luo Chun, alongside Xiao Xingtian, Tian, Ling Xuer, Yi Qingcheng, Wang Teng, and Zhao Linger, the 6 SSS ranked prodigies. When all 7 stood side by side upon the main arena, the cheers of the audience reached their peak. Xiao Xingtian, champion, Tian, you are the coolest. Goddess Xuer, go for first place. Cheers resounded from below, nearly all directed toward the 6 SSS ranked geniuses. As for Luo Chun, despite rising as a dark horse, nobody knew him. Most spectators believed he had reached top 7 purely through luck, never having fought a truly strong adversary. Once he faced an SSS ranked prodigy, everyone expected him to be eliminated immediately. At the edge of the arena, Sun Hao pressed a hand to his chest, staring bitterly at Luo Chun atop the platform. If he had not drawn Xiao Xingtian in the lottery, he thought resentfully, that unknown nobody would never have claimed a spot among the top 7. It was nothing but blind luck. Up on the high viewing platform, Several instructors watched the 7 competitors with great interest. Interesting. A genuine dark horse competitor has emerged out of nowhere this year, with no prior rumors circulating about him. He is Vice Principal Han's personal disciple. How could he be mediocre? I think the tournament championship is far from settled. Oh, is Instructor Li that optimistic about him? I disagree. Xiao Xingtian is warrior 9th layer with a tyrant body, peerless in close quarters combat. Can Luo Chen possibly surpass Xiao Xingtian? Li Chang'e grinned and offered no rebuttal, merely stroking his chin and enjoying the spectacle. He knew full well Luo Chen's examination record, defeating a 9th layer 4th rank black spot leopard in 3 moves, a beast possessing King Warrior realm combat power. Pitting a King Warrior against a crowd of warriors was nothing short of bullying. The champion's identity was obvious. On the arena platform, the 6 SS rank prodigies turned their gazes toward Luo Chen. Their stares held scrutiny and undisguised disdain. In their eyes, this sudden newcomer Luo Chen had only landed in the top 7 by sheer luck. He was not worthy to stand alongside them. Xiao Xingtian folded his arms, his voice booming like a bell, brimming with arrogance. Boy, reaching top 7 means you possess some skill and quite a bit of luck. But against the 6 of us, your journey ends here. I suggest you surrender right away for whoever you draw in the lottery. Avoid sustaining injuries that will harm your reputation and interrupt your cultivation. Di Tian let out a sneer. Blue electric arcs crackled between his fingertips. Exactly. Our attacks carry no restraint. If we accidentally cripple you, do not say we did not warn you. Step down voluntarily, and you can still hold on to the honor of being top 7 without shame. Luo Chen glanced over them, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Is that so? Then I'd like to see if all 6 of you together can take one strike from me. His voice was not loud, yet it carried clearly across the main competition stage, spreading to every corner of the plaza through the amplification formation. The entire venue fell dead silent in an instant. Everyone was stunned. What did he just say? Let 6 SS-rank prodigies attack him all at once. Take one strike from him? That was unbelievably arrogant. 3 seconds of total silence passed, and then the crowd erupted like boiling water. Tens of thousands of spectators below stared wide-eyed, their jaws hanging open in utter disbelief. What did 6 SS-rank prodigies represent? They were the Ancient Century golden generation of Dragon Country. Each of them was a peerless talent on their own, destined to at least reach the martial emperor realm in the future. Yet Luo Chen was claiming that all 6 combined could not withstand a single blow from him. This went far beyond arrogance. It was sheer madness. On the stage, Xiao Xingtian's expression darkened instantly. He stepped forward, his muscles tensing up. The aura of his overlord body involuntarily rolled out, his voice booming like a great bell, shaking the edges of the platform slightly. What did you say? The 6 of us joining forces cannot even take one strike from you? Luo Chen, you think far too highly of yourself. Do you truly believe that defeating a few S-rank and S-rank nobodies makes you invincible under heaven? Behind him, Di Tian let out a sneer. Crackling blue lightning danced across his fingertips, winding around his body, his eyes brimming with unruly pride. Exactly. Even without the rest of us, you might not last 3 moves against me. Talking about felling all 6 of us with one strike is nothing but a ridiculous joke. I suppose you plan to claim you weren't going all out once you get beaten flat? Fine, we will leave you that excuse. Don't start sniveling when you lose. Ling Xuer knitted her slender brows. A faint cold aura swirled around her, her tone crisp and cool. Fellow student, excessive arrogance does you no good. We acknowledge you possess some strength, but the gap brought by SS-strength talent cannot be bridged by empty boasts. You can still stop now. Once the real fight begins, we will show no mercy. Yi Qingqing shook her head gently. Her tone was gentle yet firm. Luo Chen, you ought to reconsider. In unknown combat, we would respect you as an opponent. 6 against 1 would be an unworthy victory even if we win. And what is more, you might very well lose. Sustaining serious injury would set back your cultivation, and that would not be worth it. Wang Tung stood to one side, faint golden light emanating from him as his golden battle body readied itself. His voice was deep and steady. I advise you to retract those words. The 6 of us fighting side by side could force even an early-stage martial king realm expert to retreat. As a new student, you cannot possibly stand against us. Do not ruin your martial path for the sake of momentary pride. Zhao Linger's gaze turned somber. She quietly unfurled her mental power, attempting to probe Luo Chen's true strength, only for her power to sink without trace. Not a single wisp of his aura could be discerned. A flicker of surprise stirred within her, and she said nothing. Luo Chen folded his arms and listened to their rebukes, his face betraying little emotion. He nodded faintly. That is exactly what I mean. I will even hold back my strength. If I exert myself even slightly, you would likely end up severely injured and carried off the arena, and that would take all the fun out of this. His casual words stung the six prodigies more than outright insults. Ha, hold back your strength? You must be joking. Di Tian doubled over laughing and pointed at Luo Chen. This is nothing but stubborn bravado. You will be begging for mercy soon enough. Xiao Xingtian drew a deep breath and fixed his sharp gaze on Luo Chen. Very well. Since you insist on seeking humiliation, we shall grant your wish. Do not blame us if you leave this stage crippled. Ignoring his retort, Luo Chen turned toward the referee mentor at the edge of the platform and raised his voice. Instructor referee, I request to alter the match rules. I will fight all six of them single-handed. According to Academy regulations, multi-combat matches are permitted as long as both sides consent, are they not? The referee, a middle-aged man at Martial Emperor's 7th layer, felt a headache coming on. He stepped forward and spoke earnestly. Luo Chen, listen to me. Why not compete normally in unknown bouts? These six are all SS-ranked prodigies, each capable of fighting opponents above their own rank. When six such talents unite, even a Martial King first-layer expert cannot guarantee victory. You have already performed marvelously as a dark horse advancing to the final 7. There is no need to act out of temper. Sustaining grave harm would hinder your cultivation. Moreover, all your previous opponents were S-rank and S-rank. You have yet to witness the true power of SS-rank talent. It would be far wiser to proceed with the scheduled draw for unknown duels. The referee spoke from genuine concern. In his judgment, no matter how powerful Luo Chen was, he could not defeat 6 SS-rank prodigies working together. If something terrible happened, he would have no way to answer to Vice Principal Han. Luo Chen shook his head firmly. No need for that, instructor. Let it proceed as I requested. Unknown matches are too time-consuming. Once I finish fighting all 6, I still need to return and cultivate. You. Helpless, the referee turned to Xiao Xingtian and the other 5. You have heard him. Luo Chen insists on fighting all 6 of you at once. Do you consent to accept this challenge? Remember, this is a sparring match. You must not permanently damage one another's martial foundations. Violators will have their competition results revoked and face disciplinary punishment per Academy rules. We accept, Xiao Xingtian answered without hesitation, stepping forward with piercing eyes. Since he craves fame, we shall grant it to him. This was his own proposal. Any injuries he receives are not our responsibility. The remaining 5 nodded, anger and disdain plain on their faces. Fighting one young man as 6 SS-ranked prodigies would sound shameful if word spread, yet refusing the provocation would bring them even greater disgrace. Up in the mentor viewing stand, the instructors broke into heated discussion. Li, is this the promising young talent you praised? A bald-headed mentor frowned at Li Chang'e. 6 SS-ranked prodigies joining forces. Even senior academy students at the Martial King realm would not claim certain victory. How could a new student possibly win? A female mentor beside him agreed. Vice Principal Han took him as a disciple for his natural gifts, yet his temperament is far too conceited. Youthful boldness is fine, but overconfidence can lead to catastrophic defeat. A loss here would deal a heavy blow to his mental fortitude. Why are you all so quick to judge? Li Chang'e stroked his chin with a knowing smile in his eyes. The match has not even begun. Victory and defeat are still undecided. In my opinion, this young man stands a very good chance of prevailing. A good chance. Li, have you lost your senses? Another mentor stared in shock. He has only awakened his powers for half a month. Could he already be a Martial King? Even if he were Martial King first layer, 6 Martial Master level SS rank prodigies could wear him down. Exactly. He keeps his talent grade and cultivation level concealed, acting all mysterious. This is nothing but bluffing, and the truth will soon be exposed. Li Chang'e offered no further argument and merely chuckled. Just watch. This young man still has many surprises in store for us. The other mentors shook their heads, convinced Li Chang'e had become overly biased toward Luo Chen. Every gaze turned toward the main stage, eager to see how this Uni against 6 spectacle would conclude. Upon the competition platform, the 6 prodigies spread out and formed a semicircle, boxing Luo Chen in at the center. Xiao Xingtian stood directly before him. Di Tian and Wang Tung took positions to his left and right. Ling Shuer and Yi Qingqing provided support from the flanks, while Zhao Linger hung back, locking onto Luo Chen with her mental power. Seeing both sides ready, the referee drew a deep breath and raised his right hand high. Since consent has been given, I declare the battle begin. The instant the words left his mouth, all six moved at once. Roaring, Xiao Xingtian unleashed his full overlord body. Bronze-hued luster spread across his skin. Clenching his fists, he advanced with overwhelming momentum, throwing a powerful punch straight toward Luo Chun. Wind howled, and the air cracked with explosive booms. Overlord God Fist. At the same moment, Di Tian's lightning flared violently. He transformed into a streak of blue lightning and assaulted from the left, condensing a thick lightning spear at his fingertips aimed at Luo Chen's ribs. Lightning Spear. Wang Ting activated his golden battle body, radiating dazzling golden radiance. Crossing his arms in front of his body, he charged forward like a golden war chariot from the right, intending to seal off every possible escape route. Ling Xuer waved her hand. Countless ice needles whistled forth, sweeping toward Luo Chun. Frigid energy filled the surroundings, forming tiny shards of frost in the air. Yi Qingqing wove hand seals. A pale green barrier enveloped the six prodigies. Continuous life force poured into their bodies, boosting their power and regeneration speed. Hiding in the rear, Zhao Linger shaped her mental power into invisible spikes, sending them silently stabbing toward Luo Chen's sea of consciousness to disrupt his focus. The simultaneous unleashing of six SS-rank prodigies unleashed a terrifying spectacle of intertwined elemental forces. The spectators below watched in awe. Such a formation would overwhelm even a martial king-ranked warrior, let alone a single new student. Everyone held their breath, waiting to see how Luo Chun would respond. At the very moment their attacks were about to land, Luo Chun finally stirred. He did not even draw his blade. Space compression. Invisible spatial power erupted forth. Centered on Luo Chun, space within a 20-meter radius violently contracted inward, as though seized and squeezed by an enormous, unseen palm. Xiao Xingtian, charging at the forefront, felt immense pressure clamp down on his whole body. His spiritual energy stagnated instantly. His thrown fist froze midair, unable to advance even an inch. Grinding his teeth, he poured every ounce of overlord body strength into resisting. Veins bulged across his skin, yet he could barely remain standing, unable even to lift his arms. What? Xiao Xingtian's eyes widened in horror. His overlord body boasted peerless defense among peers, yet before this unseen force, it felt as fragile as paper. Di Tian fared even worse. His lightning form was trapped suspended in midair. Lightning flickered chaotically across him, yet he could not break free of spatial restraint. His bones creaked, as though they would be crushed at any moment. Impossible. What kind of power is this? Ling Xuaner's ice needles hung motionless mid-flight. The golden radiance of Wang Tung's golden battle body dimmed, and he struggled to draw breath. Yi Qingqing's life force barrier was compressed flat against their bodies, rendered completely useless. Zhao Linger's mental spikes were shredded the moment they drew near. She let out a muffled groan, her face draining of color. The six were like insects trapped inside amber. No matter how hard they struggled, they could not move a muscle. All their prior arrogance, disdain, and defiance melted away, replaced by sheer terror and disbelief. Was this Luo Chen's true strength? In a single exchange, without him even being touched, they had been completely subdued. Standing in the center of the encirclement, Luo Chun remained calm, his breathing steady. He had only used 1/5 of his full power to suppress these martial master-rank prodigies. After all, Martial King's 7th layer spatial power was like an adult playing with children when facing opponents of this level. Is that all you can do? Luo Chun shook his head faintly and tapped his foot against the platform. Space step. Swish, swish, swish. Multiple blurred afterimages of him flickered between the six prodigies. His speed surpassed what the naked eye could follow, leaving only faint ripples in space in his wake. Bang, 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 bang. 6 dull thuds rang out in quick succession. A blow to Xiao Xingtian's chest sent him flying like a broken kite, tumbling straight over the edge of the competition stage. Di Tian took a kick to the hip and sailed sideways, crashing onto the padded ground below in an undignified heap. A palm strike to Wang Tung's shoulder sent his massive form rolling off the platform. Ling Xuer, Yi Qingqing, and Zhao Ling each received a light kick to the calf, losing their balance and tumbling outside the arena boundary one after another. The entire sequence lasted barely 1 second. Moments earlier, the 6 imposing SS-rank prodigies now lay outside the stage, disheveled and humiliated. Luo Chen stood alone at the center of the platform, robes fluttering in the breeze, without shifting his original position even a single step. Absolute silence fell over the plaza. You could hear a pin drop. Every spectator stared blankly at the young man on stage, their minds going completely blank. 1 strike? No, it had not even amounted to a full strike. One crowd control spatial ability combined with a movement skill had sent all 6 SS-rank prodigies tumbling off the platform. This defied all logic. What did I just witness? A senior student in the front row swallowed hard, his voice trembling. Am I hallucinating? 6 SS-ranked talents, defeated in less than a single second. Good heavens, that is Space Step. Vice Principal Han's exclusive movement art, someone suddenly shouted in shock. I saw Vice Principal Han use it during the Academy tournament. It is identical. No wonder Vice Principal Han took him as a disciple. His spatial gift is monstrous. He restrained all 6 with space compression alone. His mastery is simply otherworldly. Where are all those claiming Luo Chen would lose? Come out and eat your words. With power like this, 6 more opponents would still not be enough for him. A monster, an absolute monster. Only half a month since awakening, yet he overwhelmed 6 SS-ranked prodigies. He might even surpass Vice Principal Han in his youth. The spectator stands erupted. Shouts, gasps, and exclamations merged together, rumbling across the whole plaza. Up on the viewing stand, the mentors sat stunned. Those who had just doubted Luo Chen gaped, utterly dumbfounded. Space compression, space step, the bald-headed mentor muttered. Few ordinary martial king spatial attribute warriors could wield such fine spatial control. How old is this boy? Recovering from her shock, the female mentor spoke in awe. Now I understand why Li was so confident. This young man has been hiding immense power. He must already be a martial king. To reach martial king merely half a month after awakening. Who would believe such a tale? Li Chang'e laughed heartily, brimming with pride. There, I told you he was extraordinary. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. The other mentors nodded. Their view of Luo Chen had completely transformed. With such a disciple, Vice Principal Han's faction would surely rise to great heights in the days ahead. Outside the competition stage, the 6 SS-rank prodigies sat on the ground, still dazed, struggling to process what had just occurred. What had happened? They had launched their attacks, only to be instantly immobilized by terrifying power. Then everything blurred, and they found themselves thrown outside the arena. Spatial-type abilities and extremely high-level ones at that. Yi Qingcheng was the first to regain her senses. Brushing dust from her clothes, she spoke with quiet acceptance. Our defeat is well-deserved. Xiao Xingtian clenched his fists until his knuckles whitened, burning with embarrassment. He had boasted he would teach Luo Chen a lesson, yet he could not withstand even one move. Still, he felt no burning resentment. The gap between them was so vast there was little point in harboring envy. We were caught off guard, Xiao Xingtian said gruffly. Had we known he wielded spatial powers, we would not have lost so quickly. Spare yourself that thought. Di Tian laughed bitterly, shaking his numbed arms. Even forewarned, we could never break free from that space compression. At best we might have lasted 2 extra seconds. The outcome would remain unchanged. How boastful we were before, and how ridiculous we look now. Wang Ting nodded gravely. We fought on entirely different levels. If this had been a life-and-death battle, we would already be dead. Even as 6 SSS-ranked prodigies, victory was never ours. Strength is the only truth. Ling Xuer gazed toward Luo Chen on the stage with complex feelings. She had once believed her SSS-ranked ice gift was extraordinary, yet beside Luo Chen it paled into insignificance. Zhao Linger remained pale and silent. Her most prized mental power had proven completely ineffective against him. That sense of powerlessness weighed heavily upon her. Well, no point dwelling on it. Xiao Xingtian suddenly smiled and stood up, brushing dust off his robes. A loss is a loss. There is no shame in being defeated by such a monstrous talent. We can challenge him again once our strength grows. Agreed. Di Tian regained his spirit. We underestimated him this time. Next time I will force him to reveal his true power. Even if I cannot win, I will not be defeated so swiftly. They exchanged glances and laughed. As true heaven-blessed prodigies, they recovered quickly from defeat. Instead of wallowing in humiliation, the loss ignited their competitive drive. At that moment, Luo Chen jumped down from the platform and walked over toward them with a grin. Hey, not bad. I was worried this fight would shatter your confidence. It seems your mental fortitude is stronger than I expected. Do not look down on us. Di Tian glared at him without real malice. Losing one match means nothing. Once I break through to Martial King Realm, I will challenge you again. Then we shall see who truly prevails. Exactly, Xiao Xingtian grinned. Next time I will take 3 of your strikes. No, 10. Luo Chen smiled, but said nothing. By the time they reached Martial King, he would likely have advanced to Martial Emperor realm. They chatted casually for a while, bound together by this unexpected contest. Meanwhile, The referee stepped up onto the high platform, cleared his throat, and spoke in a loud, resounding voice. I hereby declare the champion of this year's new student grand tournament, Luo Chun. Prize, 10,000 Academy Merit Points, plus 1 high-level martial art scroll of your choice from the scripture repository. As the announcement finished, thunderous applause shook the plaza once more. Ding! You have received 10,000 Academy Merit Points. Current total, 109,990 points. Luo Chen silently confirmed the numbers in his mind. He exchanged brief greetings with Li Changge and the other mentors, waved farewell to Xiao Xingtian and the rest, then left the plaza early. He had secured the championship and his reward points. He held no interest in the closing ceremony. Returning home to upgrade his talent was far more important. Watching Luo Chen's departing figure, the mentors sighed in admiration. Truly, the new generation surpasses the old. Seeing him reminds me of young Vice Principal Han. The same spatial talent, the same earth-shattering debut dominating the new student tournament. Perhaps this young man will achieve even greater heights than Vice Principal Han. Luo Chun traveled all the way back to Villa Number 1, closed the doors, and walked straight down into his underground cultivation chamber. Sitting cross-legged, he mentally connected with his system. System, spend 100,000 Academy Merit Points. Convert all of them into vital energy. Ding. Consumed 100,000 Academy Merit Points. Converted into 100 million Vital Energy Points. Current Vital Energy total, 12,814,700 points. Remaining Academy Merit Points, 9,990. 100 million Vital Energy arrived. Luo Chen's eyes lit up. Without hesitation, he gave his command. Elevate Spatial Talent to S rank. Ding. Consumed 100 million Vital Energy Points. Spatial Talent promoted to S rank. Void Walker. Storage space expanded to 100,000 cubic meters. New martial arts unlocked. Spatial Barrier, Spatial Rend. Spatial Barrier. Conjure a defensive barrier woven from spatial force. Blocks attacks from foes of equal or lower rank. Defensive power increases alongside host strength. Spatial Rend. Powerful single-target offensive skill. Tear apart the space surrounding your foe to deliver devastating cutting damage. Far more destructive than Spatial Slash. Boom. Vast, profound spatial power surged like a flood into Luo Chen's sea of consciousness. The world perceived by his eyes shifted completely. He could clearly discern spatial barriers and sense void energy seeping from spatial rifts. His perception expanded dozens-fold. Every plant and stone within the villa lay open to his senses. His inner spatial power underwent a fundamental transformation, evolving into higher-tier void energy. Luo Chen slowly opened his eyes. Faint silver spatial ripples flickered deep within his pupils. S-rank void talent lives up to its reputation. He called up his full system status panel. Host, Luo Chun Cultivation, Martial King 7th Layer Talent. S-rank Void Walker Storage Space, 100,000 cubic meters. Learn Martial Arts, Spatial Slash, Space Compression, Spatial Flash, Spatial Detonation, Space Step Perfected, Spatial Blade Rain Perfected, Spatial Barrier, Spatial Rend Vital Energy. 2,814,700 points assets. 1 million Blue Star coins. Academy Merit Points. 9,990. Reading over the display, Luo Chen's mouth curved upward into a smile. He now possessed S-rank talent plus 2 formidable new skills. Both his offensive and defensive capabilities had advanced by a qualitative leap.